people to join in the Discord, but should be filtering in soon. We'll do a quick recap. Hope everyone's doing well. Some prep for this, and then can we get started? So, just wanted to say hi to the stream before we hop right into the Discord. But we'll make sure everything goes as smoothly as it can, hopefully. I know Laura's not going to be here, but I think everybody else said they.
I'm pretty sure everyone else confirmed.
Yeah.
So the guys were saying that there's a way to watch, have your stream up and only see the chat. So, is that? Do
Yeah,
you
you
know?
can on your phone. I don't know about on Twitch. But if
I
you
want to be able to see what they comment and stuff, but I don't want to ruin the mystery and actually see the stream.
Yeah, so if you pull up my stream on your phone,
Okay.
you can go. I'll walk you through it.
Yeah, let me find my
it.
Twitch thing real quick on my phone. Okay, dark. All right, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, so then you go to the cog up at the top. So if you click onto the video up at the top, there's that cog for settings.
Time out. I gotta mute it because it's echoing.
Hello, Jonathan. I'm back, guys. Ooh. Hello,
Okay.
Hello.
So then there's that cog up at the top. You click that.
Okay.
And then about halfway down, you'll see two things that say audio or chat only. If you just click chat only, it'll only show you the chat.
Awesome. Thank you.
I do that when I'm watching a stream on my TV and then want the chat on my phone. Makes it a lot easier.
Okay, sick.
I think it looks like Kahan posted some stuff. If you're actually in the he just did the pop out chat, so that's always an option too. If you just want to see their chat on your a second monitor, if you go to the top of the chat settings, you can actually just pop out the entire chat block and then just mute the stream or whatever.
Okay, let me try that real quick then.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
So don't open Albert.
You're good now. Yeah, you can open Albert now. I was just wanted everybody to wait until I was in the Discord. Because I was having to bounce between 4 maps back and forth, some that we've seen and some that you've seen and some that you haven't. So I didn't want anybody to that guy's dead, and then it get ruined.
I'm glad you said that because I was gonna be early and be like, you know what? Let me just get Roll20, Albert. Let me get everything 20 minutes in advance.
Yeah. I know some of you guys are near pretty early, which I appreciate, but is also detrimental sometimes when I'm working on things last minute. So.
No, I get it. I didn't click into the fact that was possible, so I'm glad that I saw the message, and I'm glad I got interrupted anyway. So it's good. It worked out. It was a good interruption. So good.
Okay, did you say if we could go to Albert yet?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're all good.
Okay.
That's good.
Right.
Here. Yay. How is everyone?
Good.
Great. How are you?
I'm eating a sandwich.
Sandwich. What's it got on it? What kind of sandwich?
It's just yellow cheese and ham. That's it.
Okay, ham and cheese. Classic. Classic for a reason, though.
Jonathan, I will have to give a heads up. I may have to mute. I'll be in the call, in the party, obviously talking and whatnot, but at some point I may seem a little disconnected. That's most likely because I have to go pick up something to eat midway through. Yeah, no, I didn't realize that a 4-hour block leaves you hungrier than you expect.
Sure.
So I end up having to make something or go get something or order something in between the session.
Yeah, no worries. We'll We will make it work.
I'll just make sure you don't even know when I do it. I'm just letting you know that's gonna happen at some point.
I should be pretty prepared for everything, but in the case that you guys zooms through some stuff, we might be done a little bit early. I don't know. I think I should be good. Everything should be good. Last time I thought you'd make it further and you didn't, but in the past I thought you would make it less far and you went further. So it's see how it goes.
Okay.
But if everyone is ready, we can do just the quickest of recaps. The last session went pretty smoothly. There was no real issues there. You met up, or you wrapped up your meeting with Bookworm, which I can pull up here, wherever it was. Oh, here we go. You wrapped up your meeting with Bookworm. You had a quick interview with her after speaking with some of the other great readers, and you kind of interviewed her, kind of interrogated her. But in the end, you found out that that Skoda had reached out to Kalen, and Kalen responded that he wasn't going to come. So you were sent to go find Kalen, and you did. So you went down into the catacombs and into the vaults of Candlekeep. It took you a couple of hours before you were able to actually get down there, but you reached a place called the Chamber of Lost Lore, and that is where you found Kalen. So Kalen was in one of these little secret rooms over here. You spoke to him. You sized each other up a little bit, but overall the meeting went pretty well. Kalen kind of explained, his day-to-day activities over the last couple of days. Kind of expressed some concern about some of the great readers. Mentioned that he had mistrust for a couple of people, including probably Bookworm and Alchrist, and potentially some of the others that were claiming to have been awarded the Keeper's role before Janusi's death, in particular Alai and Feminor. So you guys left with a little bit of information, potentially an ally. He kind of agreed, while he couldn't agree to help you directly due to it looking a little bit suspicious and not wanting to ruin your credibility with Bookworm or Skoda. He did agree that in the future, if the two groups found anything, it might be best to confer. So he agreed to lead you all back up to the main floor, and you did. You met with Fimbris just as he looked a little anxious and claimed that the ceremony was just about to start, and then rushed away. I will say that the last thing is Kalen actually brought you up a different path, so he separated from you all when you went to go back to find Fimbris. So Kalen was not with you when you met with Fimbris. Fimbris rushed off down the hall, saying that the ceremony was about to start, and that is where we ended the last session. So, yeah, I think that's just about it. You met Miriam, which is cool. You shared some experiences with her, kind of neat. Is there anything else? Any questions, comments, concerns about what we're doing, where we're at, where we're going, anything like that, above table or in character?
Not on my end.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Daniel, Bernadette,
Wait.
anything? Oh,
Wait, the
No.
last person we talked to was Fimbris? What,
it
When-
was very
confusing
brief.
people?
You
Well,
guys,
it's Caleb. I mean, Fimbris went to.
Fimbris is
looking for
your friend, your little walk around friend.
Right. I'm
He was
confusing.
basically our guide to get us to the statue to go.
Yeah, I'm
Caleb.
confusing him with Feminor.
Yeah, I did
Wait,
the same thing a minute ago.
Wait, shit, I'm doing the same.
He's the little nerdy dude.
Just like in the real world, Orin is kind of like your liaison to Candlekeep. In this timeline, in this world, Fimbris is your guide. Feminor is the great reader. She is a halfling that may or may not look like a male halfling, because this may or may not be the token for a male halfling. But Doesn't matter. So Fimbris and Feminor.
That's who I mixed up. Oh, Fembris. Who's
Hopefully, we don't break the game and have someone have another existential crisis again.
They're calling him by a different name.
hate to ask this question now. Out of character, of course. Who exactly is Fembris?
Fembris is one of the Avowed. He is just one of the lower ranking people inside of Candlekeep. He kind of gets bossed around. There's a lot of Avowed. So you've met quite a few of them. Well, actually, Adon might not have met many. So far, the Avowed that you specifically met are Fimbris, who was assigned to you as a liaison. You've met Vushati. Vushati has also been kind of assigned to you as a partial liaison / she's been responsible for making sure that the area that you're working out of is secured. But she was also securing the Great Reader's office, or the meeting room that you all attended before. Irony, you spoke to. She was helping Feminor with Feminor's investigation, and she's also one of the waiters that worked at the Deadwinter feast. And then there's various others that you might have heard in passing or heard names for. You might have heard like Nax is one of them, Garlith is one of them, Parmac, and then there's probably a couple of others that I'm forgetting, but those are various names. Yeah.
I was mistaking Feminor and Fembris a lot. That's
No worries. But yes, Feminor, Halfling Great Reader, Fimbris, I think is just an 18-year. I think he's just a human. Avowed.
It's Fembris that was waiting for us. Who said the ceremony was about to start, right? Not Feminor?
Yes, correct. Fimbris was the one. Yeah.
I was mistaking. I knew it was Fembris. I thought for a second you said it was Feminor that was waiting for us. I said, what?
If I misspoke, that's my fault. But
No.
Fimbris.
I thought I heard you incorrectly. That's all.
No worries. Fimbris refused to go down into the vaults and catacombs with you. He was afraid. The Avowed spread a lot of rumors. He has been probably into the vaults before, but definitely not as deep as the catacombs. So he just refused to go down there and waited at the top of the stairs for you. And then
we came out the other side and he got
correct.
Yeah,
yep. Okay. So I think that wraps that up. Anything else? Any other questions?
I'm good.
Okay.
Anyone else?
You good?
Yeah.
So Fimbris just ran off, telling you that the ceremony was about to start. As a party, you guys get to choose what you do next.
Follow him?
Is he heading that way?
I mean, we're going to be late for the ceremony. We might as well.
We can kind of see who shows up to the ceremony, see if anyone's missing from it.
Keep an eye out. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
I'm with
the only people that we haven't talked to is Alcrest and Tellus. Those are the only two.
The only great readers you haven't spoken to.
Yeah, great readers. That's what I mean.
Should we do that after the ceremony?
I
don't know how much time it'll take speaking to Alcrest. Or if Alcrest is even available to speak right now.
Well, I mean, Alcrest potentially will be going to the ceremony, so let's go there, see if he shows up.
That's what I'm saying. Like it seems like it'd be counterproductive searching for Alcrest, knowing that this is an event that's happening. So we just see who pulls up. Might find more information anyway. So
okay. To the funeral.
Any objections? Everybody's in agreement that you're going to the ceremony following Fimbris? Take that as a no and a yes. Okay. No objections. Yes, we're in agreement. Off we go. So you follow Fimbris down the halls, a couple places. He's speeding off. He's obviously a little bit, I don't want to say agitated, but anxious. He wants to get there pretty quick. And sure enough, he rushes ahead, and you guys aren't the only ones that are late. You know, people are still trickling in. But, you know, Fimbris is an anxious guy. And so you walk in to a place referred to as the Oratory, and it is a pretty large hall, nearly as high as it is long. The sides of the walls, you can see the stained glass here on the sides, but the entire wall, outer wall, is more or less covered in these stained glass walls, excuse me. And they allow colors of blue, turquoise, mauve to stream into the room. It's just before sunset, so you're getting the last bits of light before the day is over, and it just looks beautiful and ethereal in here. The far end of the room, you can see that there are several statues here. There's another statue over here. Many of them are gods that you've seen before. It seems like the primary god is the statue of Ogma. He is reaching down. He's carrying a scroll that reaches down to the ground. Two smaller statues that seem prominent are one of Denier, who's carrying a candle and a quill, and the other of Malil, who's holding a harp. And that seems to be, you know, some of the avowed, some of the people who are working there are stepping up to those statues more than the others, you know, saying a quick prayer before finding their seats or finding standing room on the sides of the walls. At the far end of the room, as you guys walk in, firstly, when you enter, you can see that there are guards placed at the opening of the door. There's a couple of priests that stand to each side, and a couple of mages that you've seen before and fought alongside. Not necessarily in this world, but in the world above, if you will, or the world that you're all from. And so you know that they're more than capable of dealing out some damage and at least protecting Candlekeep if necessary. But for the majority, although that there's tension in the hall, it's more of a tension of grief and sadness. It's more muted. People are whispering. They're finding their seats. This isn't a place necessarily of aggression, but a place of reflection and remembrance. In this case, it's used for many things. You can tell this is it's a religious hall. It's used for religious ceremonies and other events, but today, unfortunately, it is the death of Janussi that has brought everyone here. And you can see Kai. I put Janussi here, but it is a closed casket. Janussi's heart was obviously ripped out of his body, so Kai can only do so much. I think I spelled his name wrong. Did I? I can't tell. No, his name spelled correctly. He is standing up at the top. And every once in a while, you know, unavowed again will rush forward and say a quick prayer near Janussi's sarcophagus, casket. Casket's probably the better word. And shortly after you all enter, the ceremony begins. It starts off with Kai kind of standing up and clearing his throat, and he looks over at Skoda, who gives him the briefest of nods, and Kai begins. Kai almost looks a little awkward, not in the way that, I don't know, it's hard to say. He looks like a capable individual, but it's a good possibility that not many funerals have happened here at Candlekeep. He is the religious leader, but he's used to leading weekly services, not necessarily deaths. And so he starts out a little shaky, and as we read his words, you can tell that he's trying to keep options open, so to speak. But he starts with, "We give thanks to the gods that our order was blessed by so many years of wise guidance at the hand of our beloved keeper of tomes, Janussi." And as he finishes this, he starts to chant. It's this old Gregorian-style chant. You can imagine it however you want, but the halls echo with it. It's not just Kai, the other avowed, and the other servants and the other workers. They seem to join in. So I need everyone here. Actually, first, as you enter Fimbris, Kai, you're all standing here at the entrance. Kai starts to speak, and Fimbris looks back and kind of ushers you into, or points to the row in front of you. So if you would like, you can sit wherever you want, but there is an empty row here if you would like to move your tokens. and then I don't care who moves Alaric today. It's completely up to you all. Okay. Thank you. We're going to move. I'm going to connect. I thought they were connected already, but that was my fault. Attach Stolas to Alaric. Okay, done.
That bitch Thorell's here.
Say that again.
The
Oh,
nosy lady.
Oh no, I
So-
just saw her.
As Kai finishes his last words and the chanting starts and spreads throughout the auditorium, if you would like to participate, I need you to roll up a performance check.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Oh shoot.
Okay, Kyle.
Nice.
Where's my thing? Oh. Performance? 19.
19 total.
Yeah.
So the tone is not necessarily one that you're familiar with, Kyle, but it's pretty basic. It's pretty elementary, and living in the woods near the Feywild and experiencing those kinds of things, the tune is pretty easy to keep up with and catch. So while you're not 100%, confident, you are able to give a passing performance and join in on the chants. And some of the other vowed around kind of give notice to that, and they turn and look at you and kind of nod. They probably weren't expecting much of your party, so it's nice that was the case. After a few more seconds of this chanting, it quiets down again. The echoes cease, and Kai begins. We pray to the gods that they guide Janusi's soul to the afterlife, unless it is by your design that he be returned to us.
Oh.
And I need everyone here to roll a perception check.
Perception. That's 5.
Ooh.
Evie's out here. Kyle's singing and Evie's looking.
She's suspicious as fuck.
Okay, except for Adon. Adon's super caught up in the music. He's trying to write it down for later. Put a beat over it.
You feel me?
Emmy, what's your total roll? Is that 15 a total, or is that with your modifier?
Last 15.
Flat 15?
Mhm.
Hey, look at that. Okay. So all of you look around, and there's a bit of, as Kai begins chanting again, the three of you notice that there's a little bit more tension. People aren't starting to chant immediately with him. They're kind of looking around. There's a bit of whispering that can be heard. And Evie, you actually, just up to your left, you notice that you weren't here. You weren't with the party when they met Garleth, so you wouldn't recognize him. But Kyle, Emmy, Alaric probably would. Garleth is also one of the Avowed. You spoke to him earlier when you were investigating the Gingwatsum, but Evie, he might be new to you, but you can hear him. And as the chanting is continuing, you hear him say, "The 99th prophecy is coming true. Now is the winter of our discontent." And the Avowed next to him kind of, like, you feel he like has a shudder, a noticeable shudder, but they quickly lose. You quickly lose the conversation as the chanting gets a little bit louder, and this conversation ends. As everything dies down again, Kai resumes. We mourn Janusi's loss and pray that the gods guide all of us, but in particular our first reader, Skoda Vanaster, who must carry the burden of leadership in his absence. And I need everyone else to roll another perception check.
I better not roll no bow this time.
Okay.
Eesh.
Nope.
26?
Bam! Bam! Blind
Oh,
good.
yeah. Shouldn't we rolling for a lark?
Yeah, probably. I'll roll twice. I'll roll 3 times. He can perform too. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Roll. Well, that didn't help because it doesn't give me the number that they rolled or the order that they rolled.
11, 5, and 6.
Is it? Oh, does it tell you?
Yeah,
So this
it's
is
on
the
the
three that were
dice.
there. I don't know if
I can see it, but I'm in order.
no, it didn't give.
Yeah,
Like-
there's no order for it.
It used to. The old Albert did. It would tell you down here what order they would roll in, which was really nice. Anyway, it doesn't look like she succeeded or he succeeded on anything particular. Actually, his perception's like off the charts. So let me double check on his perception really quick before I say no. We'll say that this 11 is the second perception check for funsies. Yeah, he's a 7, so he actually rolled an 18. I'm glad I checked that. So, Evie Alaric, you notice that as you glance around the room, some avowed are shaking their head, while others are kind of questioning. You know, they're looking over. Those who aren't necessarily shaking their head are glancing over at the great readers. And as you look over, you can see that Miss Holly Pocket is more or less in tears. She's not really paying attention to much of anything, while Feminor is comforting her. Alchrist looks proud of his aunt. Skoda seems to be pretty stone-faced. You're not getting much out of Skoda as far as like her facial expressions and hearing Kai's statement. Benadora behind, Khazran as well. Alai seems a little perturbed, but it's only there for the briefest of seconds. Like you can see a little frown on his face, but it quickly goes away. And Khazran reaches over and squeezes Alai's arm. But her facial expression doesn't really change. You can see that she is also crying, and as you know, she's shared a relationship with Janusi for quite a long time. But regardless, the chanting continues, and Kai immediately begins after the chanting stops. This goes on for a while. Kai continues to speak. He's more or less reading from some religious text in between each. I don't know if any of you have ever been to like a Catholic service, but think of it very similarly to that. You know, he's reading passages from religious tomes. He's speaking them in various languages. He's not just reading from one book, but several, as if he's there to complete the funeral rites for various cultures, various religions, various races and creeds. So this goes on for quite a long time, and while that's happening, some avowed continue to chant in different languages. Some avowed actually stand up. Different religious practices are completed, but in the end, Kai ends the service by saying, "May the gods protect us and our order in these difficult times, as we practice the lessons of humility and resilience that fate teaches us." And as he does so, again, he says it in a few languages, but he gives the general, version of Amen, whatever it would be in this. And the congregation, if you would, respond. So he, all of a sudden, everyone is standing up and moving around very quickly. Some, again, are visiting statues of various gods around the edges of the walls. Some are visiting Janusi's casket. Some are speaking with each other, and some are rushing straight out of the hall. So while I'm not going to move a million tokens, just know that there is a lot going on all at once here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have everyone go ahead and roll their d20. Clear your roll if you haven't already. Roll your d20 so we can get a decent talking order. And then we'll go from there.
Oh, shit, no.
Got all your good rolls out of the way. Oh, no, you rolled a 20. It's pretty good.
Wild.
Okay. So let's see. What did I? Oh, I rolled a 16 for Alaric. So it looks like Kyle, Alaric, Adom, Evie, and Emmy. Okay. I'm gonna circle you guys. Where do you think the best place would be? I don't know how zoomed in you are. Oh, here's what I need to do. Let's see if I can do this for the watchers. That way I can get a bigger picture. I know Anthony wanted that last time. But where do you think the best place to put your talking order would be? Anybody have a preference?
I think that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
There's
Okay,
right there.
cool. Then just remember, if you guys want to go back here, you're more than welcome to. But this will be your talking order in general. I'll make it a little bit bigger too. That way, it's kind of you can recognize yours over others. Okay, perfect. So this is the working order. You guys can obviously, as a group, decide what Alaric is going to do. But given the circumstances, I'm not going to say this is pandemonium, right? Like, it's relatively orderly. There's no arguments breaking out, anything like that. It's just there's a lot of people moving around all at once. So all these people lined up on the walls, all these people over here, they're spread out. Some leaving, some going, some are even coming. People are still filtering in, to pay their respects. Maybe they didn't want to stand in the group. Maybe they were just late. Whatever it may be, lots of people are moving around here. So, Kyle, it is your chance to act. If you would like, just let me know what you want to do.
Yeah. Uh, trying to think.
I tried, before you make an action and while you're still thinking, I tried to give names to everyone that you would have already met or that some of you probably already know. So as I mentioned, Garlith up here, some of you have met him, some of you haven't. But Irony, Orin, Sprigg, Vushati, these guys are all people that you've met before. While there's others that don't have any of these generic tokens, don't worry about these. But if you look at someone, you're like, that person looks suspicious. And they don't are not suspicious, but out of place. And they don't have a name, it's because it's someone that you haven't necessarily met before. So if you have questions about those people, I mean, Fimbris is literally right behind you. You can probably answer it. If you'd like to go talk to them directly, you're more than welcome to do that. I think Nax is someone that, again, some of you met when you met Garlith, but I don't think all of you met. Same with Parmac. So there's little things like that.
Do we meet Sprig or do we just talk about her?
We met her.
I think we met.
We met her. Yeah.
I
Well,
know.
I don't think Mel was there though.
I think
No,
she's
and
one of the
Danny.
other Avowed that have been met before by some of your party, but I don't think
Mhm.
the whole party has. I don't think you've met her in this specific universe before. She's been
Okay.
spoken of. Her, as you recall, Orin, Sprigg, and what's her name? Where's her nuts?
Irony?
Irony. Yes, thank you very much. She's literally right there. Those three were actually the waiters at the Deadwinter supper. So
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay.
yeah, so that's where you've heard her name before. But as far as seeing her face, I think only three of you have.
Okay. Is this person is cute?
Thank you.
Are they what are they doing right now? Are they able can I interact with them, or are they talking to someone?
Baby turtle on her back. How cute. Sorry.
Yeah, she's talking to the person behind her. You can see that obviously she's quite a bit different than everybody else here. Even the person behind is quite a bit different. They're obviously not humans. And then the gentleman that they're all kind of speaking with together, um, he is human. So, but yeah, you get to interact with whoever you want.
Mm, yeah, I guess I'll go introduce myself and hello, my name is Kyle. How
Yeah.
are you?
So
alright.
the group kind of again they're in mid conversation, but they do you find a decent spot. Go ahead and roll me a charisma check, just a flat charisma check.
Not good at those. Yep.
Okay.
Damn.
5.
So you trying to kind of get their attention, but as you do, you know some of the avowed are walking around you. You don't have the greatest stature, you know, amongst them. So a lot of the avowed are walking past, and you're kind of being able to be unseen, and you're doing your best to be polite. But eventually, you know, you can tell that you're not really being heard, and so you kind of raise your voice a little bit, and you're like, "Hello." And it really startles them. It gets their attention, but you quickly recover. You know, introduce yourself. I'm sorry, my name is Kyle. I didn't, you know, didn't mean to yell, kind of thing. And she introduces herself as Jacinta. Are you just addressing her, or are you addressing the party?
What do you mean the party?
The group. She's speaking with like this. Like these three people are kind of all talking amongst themselves.
Oh yeah, the group, I guess.
Okay.
Hello.
So you know, Jacinta introduces herself. Um, the the fawn next to her introduces himself as Lewin, and the man standing behind Lewin introduces himself as Feldmar. So this is Jacinta. Let's see if I can spell that. Oh, Jacinta, and this is Lewin. And this is. I wish it was as easy as just like revealing their stuff, but I have to find it and type it. So there you go. They kind of again, Jacinta. Everything goes a little slower for Jacinta. She's an old soul, and physically old, but she's also a turtle. So she nods a little bit slower. The others kind of greet you. Lewin stands maybe, I mean, not too much not too much taller than you. Fawns aren't known for their, you know, their height either. So he actually reaches out and shakes your hand, and oh, did you know Janusi?
Not exactly, but sort of. Um.
That's about how I would expect a 4 to be rolled. So good job. Inspiration for playing that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Intentional.
um, d- we were doing a job for him, so sort of, yes. Um, h- did you know Janusi?
Yes. See, we have been working here at Candlekeep for many a years now. I don't know how long we've all been here, but we did have real personal relationship with Janusi, but he would visit our locations, our businesses regularly.
Oh, well, you said business?
Yes, I run the apothecary here at Candlekeep. Jacinta here, she is responsible for the bathhouses, and Feldmar here runs the outfitter's shop.
There's bathhouses here?
Of course, you passed them as you came in through the main gate.
Oh. Can't wait to
Jacinta,
visit.
you know, kind of very nice bathhouses as well, I might add.
We did get to enjoy them.
We did?
I thought so. We needed to rest and recoup after we were out in the cold.
Maybe Kyle prefers dust baths, you know, like a chinchilla.
Ooh,
Oh,
I used to
Uh,
have a chinchilla, and we had vanilla bean dust for it, and it smelled so freaking good.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss, if you know him that much.
Yes, it is a great loss
Yes.
for us all. Janusi was kind.
Yeah, according to others, he seemed really nice.
You doing a job for him. What? Who are you? Why are you here?
Mm, well, it's complicated. We're investigating his potential murder.
Todrick kind of steps up. He's overhearing. He's a little on edge as well, kind of keeping an eye out. He's kind of attempting to step up a little bit now that Kalen has been dismissed as the leader of the investigation. He's kind of gone, I don't want to say into hiding, but into seclusion for the last day. So Todrick is kind of being relied on by a lot of people. And he leans over and mentions that Bookworm hired your group to investigate Janusi's death. He's the party has so far proven themselves to be competent for the most part. And we all hope that he kind of looks over at you and he's acknowledging the party, but he gives the statement that we all hope that they come to a very quick conclusion.
We're trying.
The laughter kind of takes them back, but Lewin nods and yes, we could all use a little laughter these days.
Yeah, I agree.
As I'm well, Kyle, it was nice to meet you. The apothecary is open during the day, every day, more or less. If you have any more questions or need anything, or would like something to aid you in focus or recovery, come see me. And Jacinta here, she would, I'm sure, love to see you as well if you need a relaxing bath. And I'm not sure what use you might have for an outfitter, but Feldmar is the best around, so please come visit us during our business hours if you or your party need anything.
Of course, thank you. I'll be sure to visit.
He nods and his eyes sparkle a little bit as he smiles at you, and the party kind of turn away from you and continue on with their conversation.
I just walk back to the group.
Sure. Alaric. What would they like Alaric to do? What would you all like Alaric to do?
Maybe listen in, like eavesdrop on the readers that are all together.
Yeah, like that assassin he is.
Like you could chill right here and kind of just casually lean against the wall and like eavesdrop on them.
Sure.
Ninja mode.
Okay. We will go ahead and make those rolls depending on what else everybody else wants to do. But Lardic is moved over into a more likely position to overhear something or see something in regards to the readers. I like it. Adom, what would you like Adom to do? What would Adom like to do?
Given the fact that Adom was too busy thinking of bars to write while the ceremony was going off, he didn't really perceive too many of the faces during the ceremony. So snapping back into reality, he realizes that he should probably go around and just observe from a distance, see how many people are, like the groups of people that are lining up to see the casket, those who are talking amongst themselves, seeing who goes where kind of thing. For a big group can also determine like the kind of crowds that Janusi was surrounded by. So that could also determine who I could interact with after. So I guess Adom can interact with. So Adom gets out of the bench and just slowly starts to walk around a little. Just
kind of getting a feel for the area.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'll get rolls after we figure out where everybody's going. Evie, what would you like to do?
Kind of torn right now. I kind of want her to go hang out by Little One and talk to him a bit, but I also kind of want her to approach Thorell. What?
I don't know how I would play that conversation. I mean, I put her on the map, so I might as well have played something, but you'd think I would have.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna go over here by Little One. Oh, wrong token. And kind of ask him if he's noticed or seen anything since we last spoke, and also kind of keep an eye on the door to see who's coming in and who's leaving, because she's also noticed that Silvira was not in attendance.
Sure. Okay.
And Titus.
Ooh.
Yeah. Emmy, go ahead and roll a perception check. Or I'm sorry, not Emmy. I was going to say Evie, but we'll do that afterwards. Emmy, before we roll for perception and such, what would Emmy like to do?
She would want to approach the casket and offer a prayer.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead and walk up to Janusi.
Woo, go Emmy. Giving prayers.
Okay, so let's start up the top. You kind of already had your conversation, but if you'd like to try to perceive something, I'll let you choose between one of the. You can ally with one of the other 4 players. So if you want to kind of help Alaric look at the readers, you're more than welcome to do that. If you want to help Evie, discuss something with Little One.
Yeah, I kind of see Alaric first because she went after me. So I kind of want to approach her intentions as well and observe the readers.
Okay, perfect. So I'll go ahead and have everybody here roll a perception check. Adom, I'm gonna have you roll a investigate or an insight check.
Can I
Yes, Kyle?
hold on. No, keep going. I'm gonna read this spell real quick.
Okay. Emmy, I'm going to let you do one of 2 things. If you, as far as a blessing goes, if you want to use a spell slot for that, I will allow you to. If you would like to just give a general prayer, then I'm going to have you roll a religion check. I will say that casting, like using a spell slot with whatever I decide, will more or less be a guaranteed success, whereas rolling for it is not guaranteed. So,
I'll
whereas-
use a spell slot.
okay, we'll essentially say it's going to be, what is your, why am I blanking on this? What is your class feature? What is it called? It's not, is it divine? It's divine something. Why am I silly about this? Channel divinity. That's what it is. Sorry. Channel divinity. So we'll essentially, rather than using a spell slot, we'll have you use your channel divinity for the day, if you're interested in doing that.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think I've used it. I forget.
Yeah, probably not. At lower levels, it's mostly really good against undead, and that's about it, I guess. But it's still pretty good. It gets better with depending on what subclass you're taking. So, okay, so you are going to use that. Perfect. Let me look something up really quick in regards to that. Shouldn't take me too long. Everyone here has already rolled. They rolled their checks and everything.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yep.
use a spell. I'm
Okay.
gonna use enhance ability to get advantage on my perception.
Just go ahead and mark that off on your list. If anybody else would like to cast spells or do anything else special, let me know. Okay. Perfect. Good grief, all of you?
Oh god.
Dang.
No, that was bad.
Doubled.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I got a
17 though.
No, 15. Oh wait, 17?
Yeah, it's a
Seeing
17.
a 17 on my screen, a 17 and a 10, right? What's your
What
perception?
the fuck? That went that moved.
Oh, well, good for you.
It was a 3 and then went on a 17. What the hell?
Well,
Okay.
better.
So 17 plus 5.
Okay, so 22 for you. So you all rolled incredibly high. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You're
We're
welcome.
here for
I didn't
you.
roll for Alaric, but Kyle's roll is high enough anyway, so we'll say that you guys rolled well together. I mean, I'll roll it for him anyway. His perception
Happy
again is a plus
birthday.
7, so 15. Okay. So, Kyle and Alaric, you notice that again, Miss Holly Pocket and Feminor, as the service ended, it was obviously hard for Miss Holly Pocket, so she continued to cry, and Feminor continued to stand there and consult her, while a lot of the other readers, as well as the chanter, they all got up and started walking around and addressing some of the avowed, some of the workers. Kyle, together, you notice that as some of them, Ally and Kazrin. Kazrin kind of steps up next to Emmy and says a quick word to Janusi, and then meets Ally afterwards. And as they are passing by you, and Alaric spots him too as you guys are leaving, they pass by one of the Watchers. The Watchers are all signified right here. This is Daedrin, but as I mentioned before, this is just a generic Watcher token. They're responsible for guarding Candlekeep. Some of them are responsible for guarding the Emerald Door. But you see that a Watcher comes in from outside and walks past, and as they pass by here, just about, the Watcher slips Ally a book, and Ally takes the book and places it in his robe. And I'll say, since you rolled extremely well, Kyle, Alaric's probably was enough to notice. Well, it was enough to notice it. No, it wasn't enough to notice it. I'm gonna let you, Kyle, since you succeeded, to roll another perception check for me, and I'll decide if I want to give you more information after that. Oh, go ahead.
My enhanced ability lasts 1 hour, so I have advantage.
Oh, of course it does. Of course it does. Okay. Adom, I had you roll the insight check, and you rolled pretty well. You're at 25. Jesus. You notice a couple of things. So you also, while you don't see, while you don't see what's happening with Ally and the Watcher, you get the idea that something is going on, and you can also see from across the room that Kyle and Alaric are spotting these guys. I mean, they're tracking them through. Something suspicious just happened. Other than that, there's a couple of groupings of people that are kind of whispering in silence, and you do overhear them again talking about the 99th prophecy and things like that. Garlith is in one of those groups. A couple of the younger avowed, they're weeping, they are sad. You hear general prayers. Nothing else really stands out, though. If Kyle and Alaric hadn't necessarily seen what was happening between Kazrin and Ally, you definitely would have clocked something weird. And so that's definitely something that you can meet up with later and kind of discuss. But luckily, somebody in your party was able to succeed there. Kyle, what did you roll total?
Natural 20 for 25.
Of course you did. Adom and Kyle, Kyle, you notice it. The book that Ally grabs, it doesn't look out of the ordinary. However, it seems a bit heavier than a book ought to, if that makes sense, right? For the size of the book that it is, it seems to be a lot heavier than what a book of that size would be. And you can tell that when Daedrin, or when the Watcher, I'll just refer to her as Daedrin because who cares, when the Watcher is handing the book over, you can just tell from the way they're handling it. It's the Watcher doesn't hold it with one hand. She takes it out from underneath her arm, underneath her robe, and passes it to Ally with two hands. Ally begins to grab it with one hand and recognizes that there's weight to it, and does the same thing, kind of grabs it with two hands and pockets it inside his robe. And Adom, as they're leaving, you kind of, oh wow, I don't make them small. As they're leaving you can see that they're leaving in a big group, so I'm showing you them here, but there are several avowed filtering out and in. It would be near impossible to stop them. But you can tell that Ally seems pleased, and you can also tell that he is trying to, avoid drawing notice to this book. It's something that he's hidden. It is not something that he wants seen, and they march out the door with a bunch of other people. Evie, you had some. You rolled a perception check as well. You were talking with Little One. Little One recognizes you and has no, he shows no hostility to you. He likes you guys, and is willing to share information. As you look around at everything, There's not much. You notice that some of the avowed that you're used to or that you have seen before, Ironies is one of them. She's speaking with some of the others which you would assume to be avowed, that you don't necessarily know. You did spot Thorell. Well, you spotted, but we'll say that Evie also spots Thorell in the front row. You also see Ebder and Galeby here, Crinkle and Varnier in the back. All individuals that you've met and interacted with. And you do indeed notice that there are a few readers that are missing. Darrell is missing, although that may not be that suspicious since you were pretty like 90% sure where he is. And Little One confirms it. Little One, as he was leaving, Darrell was still at the hearth, drinking away. You notice that Silvira is missing, but again, the rumors are that she is still very sick. Tellus is not in attendance, although you've not spoken to Tellus today. The only time you've met Tellus is this morning in the meeting, the very first meeting, and I wouldn't say met. You just know of him. Little One confirms that Tellus does like to keep to himself. He does not really involve himself with the business of the rest of Candlekeep. And Kalen, who you all just left, Kalen is also not in attendance. He did mention to you all that he was going to make sure that Candlekeep was secure. He was going to go make preparations with some of the other, guards, the priests, the mages, make sure that the most populated areas are safe. But these are all some noticeable absences from the party. If you have any direct questions for Little One, I'll give you, you rolled pretty high on your perception check as well. If you have any questions about what you see or what you think inside the place, I will allow you to ask one question of Little One, and I will answer to the best of my ability. He's not like a magic 8-ball, but, he has information too.
Yeah. Well, and we confirmed, upon meeting him initially that he likes to read and stuff like that, correct?
Yep, correct.
Okay, so she wants to take what she overheard from Garlith and ask him what he knows of this 99th prophecy.
Sure. So, mentions that he does not know how to recite it word for word, while some of the others, some of the other avowed might. But essentially, he starts to recite what little he does remember. During Deadwinter of our discontent, a trio of readers shall be bent by love, by pride, and by greed. The second stanza is something about repenting and ambition. And then he kind of just trails off. I can never remember the third stanza, but those chanters, they chant it every morning. And in fact, Evie, you do recognize it. It was you heard bits and pieces of it the morning before. Well, actually, this morning. It's still the same day. My goodness. This morning, you heard the chanters reciting it outside or along the parapets of Candlekeep.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone remember who succeeded on that? I know that there were some people that succeeded in the perception check, but I don't remember who it was.
I don't know.
In the perception check, I thought, was it? Wait.
It was in our very first session, I think, of this campaign. So approximately 2 months ago.
Nope.
I didn't know if anybody had it in their notes.
Let me go back and look real quick.
I mean, I could always pull up the VOD and be like, now I know, but...
That could be faster, but I'm looking through my handwritten notes.
Let's see. Endless chanting by enchanted female dwarf Benadora. Was that the first session?
It might have been the second, but I'm pretty sure it was the first.
Let's see.
So
Of course, the
one
door. There's vibrations because the magic barrier. There's a bell that rings. We hear chanting by a string of sages.
There it is. You were in the right spot, Kyle.
Okay.
The dwarf chanter was correct.
They chanted endlessly, led by a female dwarf. What else? I did not write who did it. Sorry.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. There's tons of avowed around. We'll just say that Little One pulls one over to you, and in fact, they are able to recite all of the 99th prophecy, and it is as follows. During the dead winter of our discontent, a trio of leaders shall be bent by love, by pride, and by greed. While the first may repent, and their brethren late relent, another's ambition feeds. The heart of the keeper will be lost, while our brotherhood counts the cost of warnings we shall not heed. That is the all of the 99th prophecy. He goes on to explain that it was spoken by Alondo the Seer, known to those avowed who specialize in the topic, called the Deadwinter prophecy. So the 99th is called the Deadwinter prophecy. The Alondo the Seer made hundreds of prophecies in his lifetime, many of which are judged to have come true, some with uncanny accuracy. And speaking with his avowed here, he goes on to say that the third stanza proves how true the prophecy is. The keeper's heart, the heart of the keeper will be lost. That's pretty on the nose, if you want to go that route. So he also goes on to say that the prophecies themselves are the reasons that the avowed carry out the endless chant. And the priest, Venedora, over here, she's the one you saw over on the ramparts leading the priest, or leading the chant. She is known as the chanter, and she leads the chant every morning. Well, it goes on endlessly. It does not ever end. So right now she is here, but there is someone in her place that is leading the chant somewhere inside Candlekeep.
Okay.
Yep. Emmy, so you used your channel divinity and spoke some words over Janusi's body, spoke to it's Selena, right? Saloon. There it is. Seluna. And there is a calmness that kind of creeps over the halls. As your word is spoken, it gets quieter and quieter, which more or less, allows your party to have witnessed a lot of this. As, the louder voices become quieter, the softer voices are heard. And it allows your party to overhear some of these whispers. It allows Kyle and Alaric to kind of stop or zero in on who they're looking for. Emmy, you're kind of the catalyst in a lot of the situation, because the words you speak do indeed have power. And even Kai himself kind of takes a step back, recognizing that while he is the religious leader here, it is in more of a name rather than an actual powerful position, so to speak. He has some power, but to be able to commune with the gods in this way is even beyond him. And in doing so, you actually do gain 2 favors. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with how favors work. I think you've done religious services in the past.
Yes, she still has 2.
Well, congratulations. Now you have 4. So, yeah. And you can actually, a character can have a maximum number of unused favors equal to 1 plus the character's charisma modifier. What is your charisma modifier?
Let me check. It is 0.
Your modifier is 0?
I might be looking at it wrong.
You might not be, actually. Clerics are a wisdom-based class. It's weird that it's based off your charisma modifier. Okay, what's your wisdom modifier?
3.
Okay, I'm going to give you 1 extra. I don't know why it's charisma and not necessarily your modifier. If you're performing religious services, it would make sense that it would be tied to that. So rules as written, you should not actually be able to store any favors, but who cares about rules? I make them up anyway. So I'm going to give you an additional 1, and now you have 3 stored favors. Just know that you can't gain any more after 3. You have to at least use them. Favors can be used. They can be expended at various temples for help dealing with specific things, for gathering information. You can use a favor to gather support from like a group of people, to potentially reduce the cost of spell casting by those temples, things like that. You could also, pray for intervention, right?
Hmm.
You can do all kinds of stuff. So you have 3 favors. You let me know what you want to do with them, and I'll tell you what I can give you. You don't have to use them right now. If you want to use one right this very second, I will allow you to. That way you're not wasting a favor that I just gave you, but don't feel obligated. You still have 3.
Okay.
What's
Um,
intervention?
Literally that. A god comes down and saves your character from immediate death, or turns a failure into a success, a missed hit into a successful one,
Oh,
a landed hit into a dodged one. They're not crazy things. They're not like the wish spell, right? So you're not like granting your party, resistance forever or things like that. But they're like one-time use, get out of jail free cards, so to speak. Think of them as like narrative advantage, right? If that makes sense.
cool.
Yeah. It's something you can do. A lot of clerics will do because of the religious services. Again, it's weird that it's tied to charisma. I don't necessarily like that, but whatever. I changed it, so who cares now? Yeah. So everyone again is starting to filter out as a group. I'll let you decide if there's one more thing that you want to do, or if there's any other information that I can give you, or anything in particular. I can reveal names for you. You can ask a question of someone. You can ask a question of me.
Using my perception that I got, was there a title on that book?
Not that you could notice. The book passed between hands so quickly.
Right.
It was, just barely enough for you to be able to notice that the book had a decent weight to it.
Would Evie have been able to see that as they left the room?
I'll say that your attention was mostly tied to Little One and the Avowed, gaining information about the prophecy. All that was happening at one time. So,
Yeah.
I'll say that no, your focus was not on the book. Obviously, you saw Adam walking around. You have, you're keeping an eye on your friends, but you trust them to do their part too. So I'll say that no, you probably did not see them walk past.
Okie dokie. Thank you.
Of course.
And what was Kazarin's demeanor, or Eli's demeanor, if I could tell, or is that insight?
At what point?
Between like handing out the book.
I think Adam spotted them. Ally seemed a little pleased. Kazrin almost pretended like she didn't notice, or that it wasn't really out of the ordinary. There was nothing there on Kazrin's face that indicated that, surprise or shock or anything. It was just, it's Candlekeep, right? Books are exchanged like candy around here. Books are like, everyone has access to books and knowledge. So 2 people passing a book to each other, while maybe the circumstances are weird, like this place is weird, it wasn't enough for her to react whatsoever. She noticed, she just didn't care, right? She didn't think anything of it. Adam, on the other hand, noticed that Ally, as after the exchange happened, Ally did seem a little bit more pleased, right? You all noticed, or I think a couple of you noticed, that when Kai mentioned that Skoda was going to be taking Janusi's place as, the temporary keeper, Ally kind of got it was quick, but he kind of got a twisted look on his face just briefly. It seems like that's gone away, as if, he's satisfied with the exchange, and he seemed a little bit more confident and a little bit more happy from that. So that was acquired in Adam's insight check. Anything else? Last minute things.
Nope.
Brenda, you got anything? Did you decide on if you wanted to use your favor?
I don't really know what I would use it for, though.
That's fine. Then you got the 3, and you can use them as you wish.
Okay. I guess I won't use any now.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just letting you know to make sure that you note them somewhere. Use them, like put them on Roll20 as a resource or something, just showing that you have favors. And just know that I can't give you any more because you're maxed out. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, as a party, you guys kind of reconvene and kind of share everything. If you'd like to, if you could move your characters, somewhere in the middle here, so you can group them all up. Your party does meet and kind of discusses what they found. You go over the book exchange between Alai and one of the Watchers. Emmy expresses that she gained some respect from Kai and spoke some words over Janusi's body. Evie discusses that a lot of the Avowed are speaking of this as if it was always meant to be, and they refer to it as the Deadwinter prophecy, and for all intents and purposes it does seem to be coming true. Adom, you confirm that Alai's demeanor did change as he was leaving, and after you get confirmation from Kyle that it was due to the exchange of the book, that kind of makes some sense as to why it changed like that. And the only conclusion you can come to is, in fact, that that book was the cause, right? He was clearly in at least a neutral state before the book exchanged, and then after the book exchanged, he was in a more upbeat, I don't want to say happy, but let's say confident demeanor. And I think that was pretty much it. Alaric and Kyle did similar things. So, yeah. As a group, if you want to decide, or if you want to come up with one more thing, as everyone's filtering out, people are leaving, you can maybe catch a couple people, you can ask a couple more questions if you want. Or Fembris is kind of with you as well. Again, you can always ask Fembris if you want to know more information about somebody, like who they are, what they're doing, that kind of thing. So, anything as a party you guys want to do? Nothing required. I'm not asking you this because, like, oh, I need you to do something. If it was that way, I'd just give it to you. But, I'm just giving you the opportunity if you want to. Well, there's a lot of people here at the same time.
Because we talked about talking to Alcris, but that needs to be by ourselves, obviously.
Yeah, in private.
And then we gotta decide if we're wanting to follow Alai and Kazrin to see what the deal is with the book.
Okay.
Um,
Then we've got to find Taylor's.
yeah. I mean, you could always go say hi to Queenie, Kyle.
So, Queenie. Can I ask Fembris who this guy is?
Yeah, of course. That he reveals that is if I could get it to work, maybe. That is Kayril. He is the smithy. So he works at the smith. You guys might have seen him or talked to some of the people that worked for him when you were storing your horses. But that is Kayril. The last name Hammerbind. I don't think that matters to you guys, but Kayril it is. So as you guys are discussing, and Fembris is speaking with you, Kyle reaches out and asks some of the other names. Kayril is the only one that you didn't know, that none of you probably knew. But Evie, Adom, you can ask, and you're filled in on who some of these others are. So Garlith and Nax and the others. Kyle fills you all in on who Lewin, Jacinta, and Feldmar are. You all are at the end. You're kind of familiar with them for the most part, and all the names can be revealed. Some of them are avowed, some of them work here at Candlekeep. I am, I'm sure you guys were listening at the time. So as that conversation is all wrapping up, Skoda actually does come over with Alcris, and she addresses Fimbris at first, nods to Fimbris, and Fimbris kind of stands up straighter and acknowledges her presence. And well, I'm sure it has been a trying day for us all. This is the end of the day for Candlekeep. All the avowed should be retiring now, and no one but the Watchers will be out. So I very much encourage you to wrap up anything you have to do here, and Fimbris will escort you back to the Emerald Door. And you don't have to go to bed. It's if you'd like, you can spend some time at the hearth, or you can retire for the evening. But everyone is required to either return to their dorms or to exit through the Emerald Door into the Court of Airs as the day ends. So, is there anything I can do for you before that is done?
Nope. We were hoping to talk to Akros in private.
Maybe he could meet us in, what was that room called?
The library. That's what I can think of.
The special room she designated to us. Can he meet us there?
Stuff scores is yes. I've been looking forward to speaking to all of you. I will meet you there in the morning, first thing. I very much look forward to a conversation. And sure enough, Bookworm turns to Alchrist and tells them that you're meeting in the sanctum, the Denier sanctum.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. And Alchrist nods and speaks a word in Draconic to Skoda, and a couple words to Skoda, and Alchrist walks off too. He nods to the rest of you and leaves, or starts to depart.
Evie wants to ask Skoda if she would have an idea of where Telos would be at this time, since he was not in attendance.
Confirms what you kind of heard from Little One, that Telos keeps to himself. He's not really seen out and about much. Little One never sees him at the hearth. He very rarely, ventures out beyond his room or what he's doing. The two places that he hangs out the most are, other than his chambers, are either the Arcadium Library or the Towers of Wonder.
Okay.
Otherwise,
I have
again,
a question for you,
yes.
Jonathan, out of character.
Sure. So,
are you able to tell me what Skoda or Alcris said to Skoda?
if you can speak Draconic, you'll just know, but I don't know if any of you do. Do you speak Draconic?
I speak Draconic.
Oh, then yeah, absolutely. He just said good night, Aunt, in Draconic. Yeah, absolutely. If you can overhear something, if they're saying it, it wasn't necessarily in secret. It was just in Draconic. But yeah, you speak Draconic, and yeah, just good night, Aunt, and stepped away.
I say this out of character because I didn't even though the entire party knows this, Adam has never mentioned to anyone that he speaks Draconic here in Candlekeep.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
If that's all, Skoda actually retires back over and starts the conversation with Kai, as Kai is kind of,
Wait.
Nope.
I was gonna ask her, how does it feel? Is it official that the position was given to you?
No, not official. There are several steps that need to be taken before that. One, I'll have to get the entire committee together, all of the readers and all of the council, not the committee, but the council. And there will be a vote, and unfortunately that vote can take a very long time. We'll take nominations, and then that nomination must be seconded, and then the votes must occur. But if there is not a clear winner, then, well, we will be voting for I don't know how long.
And why did Kai seem certain that you were gonna take the position?
Oh, no, I don't think he was. I think he was just wishing me well during this time where we do not have a leader. I am the de
Oh,
facto leader of Candlekeep at the moment. I am as the first reader. I am responsible for the daily operations when the keeper of the tomes is not here or not well or busy with
right.
other things. Um,
I guess I misunderstood.
yes, it's no worries. I understand. Kai seemed a little on edge this evening, but who isn't given the circumstances? He's usually much more eloquent in his wording. But yes, I'm sure he only meant that to wish me well while a new leader is decided.
Well, okay.
You said she's gonna start a conversation with Kai.
Yeah, she was turning that way. I mean, you don't know that now, but she was turning away in this direction before Kyle, kind of stopped her again.
Well, goodbye.
Good
Good
Right.
night.
Then yeah, unless everyone is continuing to filter out.
Is she just serious? Like her demeanor, just focus and serious at the moment. Skoda, I mean.
I'll let you roll an insight check to find out.
I have advantage.
I'll say that she is. I mean, yeah, she spoke to you seriously. She wasn't
okay.
joking about anything necessarily.
Okay. Do you still want me to roll it?
Is that answer sufficient to you?
It's never sufficient. Let's see. Let's say 2. Okay. Yeah, 19.
19. Yes. So, I mean, she was speaking to you seriously. She is I mean, she's a little on edge, but so is everybody, right? She spoke to Kai, or she spoke about Kai, about him, how he is usually more eloquent. Spoke to you, in a more direct tone, but nothing that she said there made you think that she was being insincere or she was being completely honest in regards to how the proceedings work, in regards to a vote. Nothing seemed deceptive about the way she explained Kai's words. It was pretty all direct and forthcoming in regards to that conversation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, so that kind of wraps that up. You all are able to filter out after most of the avowed. You're not the last to leave, but you're certainly not there for much longer. The oratorium is located, we'll say somewhere out in this general direction, which is why, the sunlight can stream in from both areas. It is a pretty large hall. And so you are, my dog wants to eat something. I'm not sure what it is.
Food.
Okay. So you guys are led out. Fembris does, in fact, escort you. Sorry. Escorts you down and out of the exaltation, and back down the stairs that you came through earlier. So you were led to the led back out to the Emerald Gate, and there is another keeper.
How's it going?
Good.
Dude.
Did I mute myself? Are we? Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been talking this whole time. I was muted. Good. Glad I pressed the button.
Oh.
Where did I leave off? I was thought my stream heard me, but apparently Discord did not. You guys are the important ones. Not that no one's important. I just mean you're playing the game. That sounded rude.
He said something about sunlight because the hall's big and
I was just describing that the oratorium, or the oratory is here, which explains why there's, the windows on both sides that kind of light up the entire place. But after that, you do filter out after some of the avowed, and Fimbris does in fact lead you out of the exaltation, and down the stairs that you came up earlier, towards the Emerald Door, and indeed, there is another watcher on duty here. It is not Daedrin. It is not the watcher that you saw inside that gave Ally a book. But yeah, the Keeper of the Emerald Door nods at you curtly as you leave the confines of the Inner Ward and head across, or as you look across the Court of Air. You can see that there's a path that's left. It has been snowing all day. There's a path that's dug into like the 3.5-foot snow that's just been falling. Fimbris nods to you as well, nods to the Watcher, gives a curt, I'll find you at the hearth in the morning, and then runs back up the stairs, freezing. As you follow...
the bathhouse?
Say that again?
Where's the bathhouse?
Here.
Oh, okay.
As you follow the narrow passages the Avowed have cleared after the snowstorm, the night is in fact bitter cold, and another light snow has started to fall. It's not as bad as it was this morning, but it is there. You hear the final bells of exaltation ring out throughout the keep, back here from the bell tower. And I need everyone here to go ahead and roll a perception check for me.
Perception? Has it been an hour?
You're fine.
Cool. 'Woo! Nice. 17 total.
23 total?
Yes.
And me an 8. Okay. Alaric and Adom, as the sound of the bell chimes, you all kind of hear it. It's the same kind of note. It's similar, Alaric, or not Alaric, Adom, you struck the gates earlier with a key, a focused punch, and it resonated throughout Candlekeep and rang the bell. And just for a brief moment, you hear the same tone coming from the bell, and you and Alaric both look up at the same time, drawn by the sound of those chimes, and you see a hulking dark figure nimbly swinging down from the bell tower and onto the galleries of exaltation. So as I mentioned before, the bell tower is here, and it's almost and this huge figure, it's indistinct in the night, wreathed in shadows. And it may, to you from this distance, looks like a giant ape, except for the fact that it has a thick black tail trailing behind it. Then it swings down from the ramparts of the bell tower and onto the roof of the exaltation. And no sooner than you sighting it, it slinks out of view. It dips behind one of the parapets. It dips behind another tower. And when it slips out of view, when it slinks out of your sight, both you and Alaric, you're left wondering if you even saw the thing. But the two of you seeing the same thing is just strange enough to be believable. But it's gone, and none of your other compatriots seem to have seen it.
Ooh,
But
that's a problem.
but
I'm seeing.
Yeah, to your best estimate, it's a gorilla-sized beast. It was something, you can't make out details. It's far away. You guys are at distance, but you could see it. The light was shining down on the tower. It was standing out, above on the roofs, being skylighted more or less. It was there, but it looked like a giant ape with a tail.
They're not gonna believe this.
we're gonna ask Fimbris about that later.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you telling us about it, or are you just keeping it
Yeah,
to
and
yourself?
well, Alaric's obviously not here, but I guess going back to the party, guys,
Yeah.
is there any way we can speak to Fembris as soon as possible?
Why was
Why?
that?
Why?
I thought I was tripping. Alaric
Okay.
thought he was tripping, but we just saw a gigantic monster on top of the tower, and it disappeared. It looked kind of
No
like a gorilla.
way.
Maybe we should go try and find it instead of Fimbris.
Uh, well, it was hard to make out because it was very far away, but a big beast with a massive tail is all I can give you. And for
Oh,
whatever reason, it looked like a gorilla
where did you see it?
on top of the Watch's tower.
Let's go over there. See.
Confirms it swung down from the bell tower, the
Belt.
westernmost tower from the exaltation. It swung down from the bell tower and scampered across the roof, and they lost it.
Let's see if we can
It
catch up to it.
it was so quick. I don't even know what direction it could have gone. But if we're gonna go after it, we got to go now.
That's
As you turn around, as the group turns around, you can see that the emerald door is in fact closed. There is a watcher posted there, but the path is closed to you. Fimbris has already left you, 5 minutes ago, and yeah, it's not as necessarily as easy as just turning around and going back.
Ugh,
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna let us in until in the morning or until we have Embers.
we may have to speak to Fembris in the morning.
I mean, we could talk to the gate door person.
Or we can try.
Oh, we can reach them? I thought.
What?
The door person.
You guys are out here again. As you started to cross,
Oh,
you're 100 feet away, I guess, from the door. You started to cross back over to the hearth, or to the resting house, wherever you guys want to go for the evening. And that was when the bell tolled, which caused Alaric and Adom to turn around and witness the thing. So the emerald door is in fact closed. The watcher is here. If you'd like to make the trip, it's 100 feet. You just walk on back.
Yep. I'm with that.
This
I wanna
this thing down here is a decent scale. So I mean it's 100 feet. I think would be roughly there-ish. So okay, yeah, you walk back and the watcher, he stands up tall. He didn't really expect to see anyone, especially you guys. I mean, he saw you walking away, but didn't really understand. But he greets you. Good evening. What can I do for you?
Good evening. I have a quick question for you. I believe I just spotted something on top of the bell tower. It was just a glimpse of a moment, but I don't know if this is considered a good or a bad thing, potentially a threat. Just want to bring this to your attention. Did you see anything? Any?
I have not seen anything this evening, but there it could have just been one of the avowed or another member of Candlekeep playing a prank. You know how people and young kids are, and Deadwinter's Eve and Deadwinter's Day. It could just be something of that nature, but unfortunately, I'm not authorized to let anybody in until morning. I can spread word though if you'd like.
A prank involving gigantic beasts
I
roaming
mean,
around
this
on
is
rooftops?
Candlekeep. There's magic abound. Not saying that you didn't see a giant beast. I'm just saying you saw what somebody wanted you to see.
Huh. Well, in case this has to be brought to the attention of the readers or the watchers, I believe this is something that you should take to report potentially. It just seemed like something that can be very, very misleading given what the recent events that have been going on around Candlekeep too. Prank or not.
nods his head in agreement. Yes, better to be safe than sorry. And he puts his staff almost to his mouth. He's wielding this very large. It's you've seen it before. It was the same thing that Daedrin was using when the when she was on watch this morning. It's called the Watcher's Staff, and he places it nearer to his mouth, and the top of it glows, and he speaks into it, and he simply says, "The investigators that Skoda hired this morning have witnessed something strange on top of Exaltation. All guards, please be on alert and report back with any findings." And he, the staff moves away from his mouth, and he looks to the party and says, "I am not authorized to leave my post, but those who are responsible for guarding the Exaltation this evening will take your threat seriously. Thank you." Or take your information seriously, not threat. That was a bad phrase. But,
Knew what you meant, but thank you.
yeah.
Well,
Anything else?
That is all for now. Just keep an eye out. Have a good night.
You as well. All right.
Okay.
Well, your party turns around, and you all kind of overheard Adom and Larg's account, but the path has been dug in some way, shape, or form to various locations. It looks like it's been mostly traveled from the Emerald Door to the Hearth to the resting house. There's also one that leads directly to the bathhouses. There are ways to get around if you like, but it does take you a little bit longer. As I mentioned, even just getting from the Exaltation where you were down to the Hearth or to the resting house is about half an hour's worth of travel. I think I said half an hour, right? Yeah, before. Even when I thought it was way back here. So half an hour is fine to get to where you needed to go. And you all are pretty cold. As I mentioned, it is freezing. An hour out here the last time when you were waiting outside the gates this morning caused you all to, well, some of you to suffer a level of exhaustion. That was cured by, the food at the hearth. Yeah, you all know that it is, perilous to spend too much time out here in the cold and the snow like this. So I just need to know where your party would like to go for the night, or if you'd like to do anything out in the Court of Airs before you retire for the evening.
A nice bath could be nice. So I would like to try that before I go to sleep.
Sure, if you'd like.
Yes, sir.
So, about halfway there, I just moved the whole thing. I meant to do this, and I moved the whole, sorry about that. I don't know if you guys probably didn't see it, but about halfway through, Kyle decides to continue following the path to the east, directly to the bathhouses.
I'm feeling greasy, so I'm gonna take a bath. Bye, guys.
Hey, what up? I gotta take a bath too. I'm just walking around. It's got me sweating.
Yeah, we did a lot of walking today.
I guess it breaks off to the bathhouse too.
Sees no reason not to join you, and we'll go ahead and follow as well. Emmy, Evie.
I guess Emmy wants to take a bath too, since they were in the crypt before. She just shivers at remembering the bugs and stuff.
Sure. You all were attacked by eels and maggots about 4 hours ago, so sure. 3 hours ago. 2 hours ago. I don't even know.
I got this hot ass dragon's breath on me, Even though it heals wounds, but shit, it's like Buckley's,
Bath time for Evie, or Evie heading to the hearth or the resting house? She's muted.
Emmy's dragging her with her.
We're going to say that you all decided to take a nice hot bath.
Woo!
And, yeah, so you do visit the bathhouse, and there are 2 pools of water, one on each side of the room. It is a big, giant communal room, but there are benches around the sides. There is a partition that can be pulled if you did want some privacy. But other than that, it's really just two large pools in the middle, and they are steaming hot. Jacinta does not seem to have made her way back to the rest or to the bathhouse just yet. However, there are attendants on duty that are happy to bring you towels, and you find that there's soap and brushes and things of the like there. So you all are quickly rejuvenated.
Cannonball.
The attendant requests that there is no diving into these pools, well, as
Too late.
Kyle splashes. However, you seem to be the only ones there this evening. The Avowed themselves have, bathhouses within Exaltation. There aren't very many other visitors here. So it seems like you guys do have the bathhouses to yourself. So she's a little bit more lenient about the situation. But yeah, your bath goes as normally as any bath does go. And after a time spent there, you are able to borrow a robe that is given to you if you wish to wear it. You can try to put on your clothes. It is still cold and snowy out there. But in the brief time that you spent, the last half hour, some of the path has been refrozen over and re-snowed over, as no one's here in the evenings clearing it, and so it does take you a little bit more time. You are sloshing through some snow on your way back, but you make it back to the House of Rest perfectly fine, and settle into your rooms for the evening. Is there any last minute things that your characters wish to discuss or talk about or do before you actually do retire for the night?
I just got back. Did I miss anything important?
You all took a bath.
Oh, well,
Fill in the gap. Fill in the holes, however you like.
did I get to use like bath bombs and nice salts?
There was some soap and some brushes. Yes.
Hmm.
I don't know about bath bombs, but
Kyle did like 5 cannonballs.
he's the Cannonball King.
Okay.
So Breath was uneventful other than that, and I was just asking if there's anything that you guys wanted to do last minute before you retire for the evening.
Oh, Adam was gonna look for more food.
Yeah, so there's the hearth and the resting house are connected, so there is a way for food to be brought to you. So you are each brought kind of whatever was prepared that evening, and you all are fed, and bedding is brought to you, and you all can, perfectly capable of relaxing however you like.
I want an almond pie.
An almond pie?
Yes.
So
Sure.
specific.
Done.
Candlekeep eats? What is this?
I don't even know what that is, but you got it.
Oh, also, before I go to bed, I want to practice on my poisonous kit for the 2-hour thing.
Okay. Yep.
Is it 2 hours?
I mean, you can spend whatever amount of time you want. I think it takes, I don't remember how long it takes. A long time, like work weeks, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Training, or is it research? No, it's training.
Yes, true.
Let's see. Time is, oh, that was intelligence. 10 work weeks. So yeah.
I only have 8 days, and I haven't done it since.
Okay, so you have a work week and 3 days. Good. We'll go ahead and tack on 2 hours, I guess, to that.
Yep.
You know what? A little at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Yep.
Okie dokie. All right, so that wraps up the very first day, more or less, of investigating. You guys have talked to several of the great readers. Excuse me, and you don't need to see Giant Janusi's face. You interviewed all but Alchrist and Tellus as far as the great readers go. You've talked to them at least once. You are supposed to meet with Alchrist in the morning. to interview him. He seemed, excited, I guess, or, interested, enthusiastic, I would say, in regards to meeting you. You have spoken with, let's go ahead and do this really quick. You have spoken with Miss Holly Pocket first, more or less. She was there. She was one of the first witnesses. You spoke to Queenie, who is the resident Keeper's Tower cat. Kai, you've spoken to him as the religious leader. You kind of, I don't know actually know if you've interviewed with Kai, but you know of Kai. You've spoken with Todrick. He was put in charge of ensuring that the crime scene was kept secure. You've spoken with Halba. He is the chef of Candlekeep, or at least the chef of Exaltation. He's responsible for running the kitchens. You've spoken a little bit with Brygon. He is the keeper of the hearth. And you've spoken to some of the gatekeepers, some of the watchers. You've spoken to Daedrin. You've spoken to the one briefly, but as far as asking them a bunch of questions, they've really just been brief conversations. And then you've also met with and spoken with some of the Avowed. You've not necessarily interviewed them. You did speak with Irony, so you've gotten some information about the dinner from her. You've met Little One at the Hearth. He's kind of a staple. He's almost always there. Fembris has been your guide, and Vushadi has been one of the people assigned to you as well. So those are the people you've met directly. There are some new players, I suppose, if you want to get into it. Let's go to what I can do here. You have spoken with a good friend here. Let's see if I can get this going. This is Jacinta. I know it's small. Oh, I need to make the text huge, don't I? Or as big as it can go. 72. That's as good as it can go. You've now met Jacinta, or Kyle has met Jacinta. You've also met Feldmar. Next. Feldmar. And where is my friend Lily? There he is. It's a little bit shrink, Lewin. Okay. And then you've not met, but you do now know the name of Carol, or Caril, excuse me. The Smithy. Okay. Anyone else that needs to be added? That's in your notes.
I think that's it. Wait, there was one more that was in the group that when I was talking to Jacinti.
Todrick was there, but you already met Todrick.
No. He was below Lewin.
It was just a sage. Oh, Feldmar was there.
Oh yeah.
I already added Feldmar. Jacinta, Lewin, Feldmar, Todrick, and Carol. Or Carol.
Oh, next.
Yeah. So those are the bunch of the Avowed. We'll do. Technically speaking, these people should probably be down below. These are essentially employees of Candlekeep down here. If you want the Avowed, then, or just people who study at Candlekeep, I mean, most of the Avowed do as well. Or most of the workers study as well, but let's see who all we got. Irony's already up there. Portrait. I guess I don't have a portrait for next. Sad. Portrait for- Okay, well there's next. Okay. 60 foot. 60 foot next. Okay, and then you obviously
I really thought in the on the funeral thing in the ceremony something dramatic was gonna happen.
today.
Like someone would like throw a tantrum or something.
This side. I don't have a portrait for Carmack either. He's already big. Still big. Because he deserves to be. He's awesome. Rig. It's rig yet. No. Alrighty. That's everyone you've kind of met so far. So these are all kind of the avowed or people who just study at Candlekeep up here. These are your great readers. These are employees of Candlekeep. You can move them around or organize them however you want, but that's the general consensus. You can add notes to whoever you want as well. As you meet more people, add them if you'd like. Anyone else that you think I need to add? Anyone else that I've forgotten? I feel like I've covered pretty much everyone.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think it's good.
So, is there any last minute discussion that you guys need or want to have before we continue on with the day 2 activities? How are we feeling?
I'm good.
That's good.
Mm,
Fan fucking tastic. I would like to upgrade my response.
uh, can I ask you guys who your main suspect is? Guys,
Honestly,
yeah.
now it's split. Like
Within who?
I don't have a suspect. I just got like suspicious groups, like crews. This almost seems like a crew kind of situation.
Mm. Okay.
I'm thinking like yeah, Skoda and Alchrist are sus, obviously, but like we haven't even spoken to Alchrist yet. But Alai and Kazran are moving different.
Mm, I see what you mean.
I feel like Kazran and Alai have to do more with this than I thought. So
Uh, for me, I feel like hmm, it's really hard to say.
every time it feels like we have a likely suspect, we get more information. We get more information, switches things up. So it's like, damn.
Yeah, I guess we do need more information because
Nah.
their alibis just seem.
Honestly, Jonathan, fair play. Because this right here this one got me going. This one got me thinking, bro. Yeah, for real.
I just feel like I don't know who could be, other than possibly Kazran, because she could be jealous. I don't fucking know. Oh God, in my head. What do you think, Bernadette or Emmy?
Honestly, I don't know. Hmm.
You had to suspect one person.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know why I want to say Selvira. You know, like the least person you suspect.
I know she was suspicious for a lot of you before. She was seen by a lot of people. Kazran claimed to see her. Miss Holly Pocket claimed to see her.
Yeah, a lot of people pointed fingers at her.
Yeah, everyone is more or less. Everyone has said the same thing, that her and Janusi have been in a dynamic relationship for a while. She gets pretty heated. What about you, Emmy?
Or
No?
the racist.
Yeah, the racist. True. Evie, what do you think?
I'm kind of looking at Alchrist, but we haven't talked to him yet, obviously, so it's not like 100%, on that. But Alchrist, and I'm kind of looking at Ally as well, and potentially Kazran. Those
Why
are
I
like
lie?
no, just
I feel like when we talked to him, he didn't really say much. He seemed neutral.
yeah. I don't know, it's just a feeling.
He claimed to have taken the position, or claimed to have been offered the position of keeper by Janusi, right? Same as Feminor. Him and Kazran are in a relationship together. So it's possible, I know many of you have spoken that you assume more than one person is working on this. Like it's, at least a couple of people involved. So,
Mhm.
maybe it's logical if you suspect one, maybe it's logical to suspect the other. It's quite possible, that they're not involved, or that one is and one isn't. But, it's also logical to assume they'd be working together. Kyle and Adom, you both saw Alai, pocketing a book that was given to him by a watcher, and even though Kazran didn't respond to that, Adom did see a change in Alai's demeanor, excuse me. And Kyle, you noticed that the book was a little bit heavier, or it seemed a little bit heavier than that book should have been. So whether it's just magic, or whether the book is a front for something, is unsure. But due to the crowd, you were not able to track Alai down, or to find out any more information. So, Alai could be suspicious there. Silvira, you noticed that she claims to have been sick. She just disappeared for the evening of Janusi's death. She has been spotted by several people, or claims to have been spotted by several people, right? Or rather, several people claim to have seen her. That's probably the better way to phrase that. And she's just, it's just so convenient that she's sick and not able to attend anything. She wasn't at the meeting this morning. She hasn't been at the funeral. She claims that they've been in a relationship for a long time. Everybody knows that, but she's not even at the ceremony for Janusi. So I can see why Emmy would perceive that as weird. Alcris, the only information you really got from Alcris, you got it from Alai and from Khazran, who you also suspect. You've gotten the information that him and his aunt were in an argument the night of Janusi's murder, around midnight or so. Khazran woke up, and at the same time, she claimed to have seen Silvira running around the northern ramparts of the Exaltation. They also claimed to have heard Alchrist arguing with his aunt. But you also heard that from Kalen. Kalen mentioned that Alchrist is a little bit more outspoken than his aunt. That Skoda hadn't necessarily Skoda had the most to gain from Janusi's death, with being the first reader and maybe stepping into the I wouldn't say the most to gain. She had something to gain from Janusi's death, and it could be that Alcris was involved and Bookworm was trying to cover it up. So I think your 4 primary suspects all have things that point to them that make them reasonable suspects. I think Alaric would agree. I think I know Laura's mentioned all 4 of these people at one point or another, so I don't think there's anything that needs to be added here. But it also sounds like
I think Laura might consider Skoda as well.
throw Skoda in here. So we can do a little bit of this. Alai and Khazran might be working together. Skoda and Alcris might be working together. Silviris, might be working on her own, or with someone else.
Mastermind.
it's a 5-way.
Yeah, she's the mastermind. They're all the background doing stuff in the background.
Rather than one person murdering Janusi, everyone colluded together to kill him. Possibly.
We solved the case.
Yep, nailed it. Session over. Is there anyone that it doesn't sound like any of you are too terribly confident? Is there any one name that you plan on bringing up or directly accusing yet?
Not yet.
No. It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a day, so,
Oh, this happened in a day.
Yeah. All of it happened in a day. 8 weeks equals 1 day in game time. But I will say that, you guys are making good progress. I wouldn't say that you're doing anything bad. You're probably more than halfway through, I think. But yeah, okay. So let's see. You got some suspects over here, but no one that you really want to point the finger at. You did, in fact, go to sleep that night, and you have a relatively peaceful evening. Other than some brief discussions that you guys, have amongst yourselves before retiring to bed, you do so, and nothing else really happens. Yeah, that's pretty much wraps up the day. I think so.
Okay.
So you guys wake up the following morning, and there is, some fresh towels waiting for you in the day. There's a water basin that just kind of magically appeared in, your rooms. And everyone, kind of just starts to go about their business. You can hear various things going on downstairs, but nothing too extreme. Like I said, this is in the middle of winter. This is normally the off season for Candlekeep. You all are one of the only groups. You 6 make up a good percentage of the number of people that are just visiting Candlekeep, so to speak. So there aren't very, very many people in the resting house or in the hearth or anything like that. Not a lot of business is being done out here. So you head downstairs and settle around one of the tables. Drink some liquids, drink some water, some tea, eat some snacks. I do need everyone here to go ahead and roll me a perception check, however. You all notice that Fimbris is not there yet to greet you.
Yeah.
I'll say that
Damn.
you get that without a check, but
Say
go ahead.
perception check.
Perception, please. Oh, I'm so sorry. Before delete the roll. This is my fault, not yours, so I'm not going to punish you for it. Two things need to be said. One, you rested, so you all have you all got a long rest. If you've lost health points for any reason in the last day, you're free to resume that. If you used any spell slots, obviously you get your spell slots back. For Emmy and Evie, for you two ladies, if you wish, you can change your spells up. So if there's something that you think you want on your spell list, then now is the time to take that. You can swap those out. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that before we continue on. If you say you're good, then we'll just push on further. But if you need time,
Give me
just
a couple minutes
let
to
me know.
look real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, that was my mistake.
Sorry, I'll get back.
No worries. Yeah, I was about to say, Kyle, Adam, I'm sorry, you don't get to do shit.
It's all good.
It's okay. I'll just like to watch them, like, I don't know, do their rituals and change their spells in
Yeah.
a way.
As Evie communes with nature and the potted plant that's in the resting house, and Emmy prays Cisaluna.
Mm.
If you have any questions about spells or anything like that, feel free to ask as well.
Okay.
Emmy, you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm just looking for
Sure.
spell. I can't use Speak with the Dead, can I?
What do you mean you can't use it? You can prepare it. You can cast it. Yeah, for all you can use it.
Mm. I think I want to take out Augury and then take on Summon Fae instead.
Add some. You got
Awesome. Thank you.
it.
All right. Let me get that put in.
Is that the only spell you're swapping?
Yeah.
Okay. What level you guys are? I always forget. You guys are what, level 5 now?
6.
Are you guys 6?
Are we?
We are?
Oh wait, no, 5. Sorry.
Okay, I thought we were still
You're right.
5.
Yeah.
Is that the only spell you're swapping?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I already answered that. I said yes.
I don't remember if I asked it or not. Sometimes I think things in my head, and then I'm not sure if I vocalize them.
That
And
is
then-
very fair.
So,
I
okay,
do it
cool.
too. Let's see. Mhm.
My plan. So, see, this is why I know there's a little break in between. My plan was that we would get this far during the last session,
Mm-hmm.
And then we would essentially do this like at the beginning of this session so that we didn't have this like break in the between, but it didn't happen. So here we are doing it now. It's okay. I should have warned you ahead of time, but I'm a bad DM, so.
So there's like a whole like stat block type situation in this.
Yeah. Summon Fae.
Uh,
Or for Fae
yeah.
Spirit.
Should I put that in the description part as well? Or can I put that like somewhere in the bio?
You can adjust it however you want. I mean, I would put it at whatever level it's cast at first, and then you can adjust and go from there. So, does that make sense?
No.
Um, when you mean the description, are you talking about the description of the spell?
No, I'm talking about the stat block. It says face spirit, and then it shows like armor class, hit points, speed, and then there's like bonus actions and and languages and senses and
You
everything.
don't need to put that in the description of the spell. That's something different. You can just put in the spell block. But as far as the Fae Spirit goes, you can add that wherever you like on your character sheet. Add it under a feature for all I care.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's what I do with Archimedes for Ardor. I just have him as he's literally a stat block. He's just an Archimedes feature, and like click him and I have all his stats there.
Okay.
The reason I was
awesome.
questioning or what I was asking about is because the Fae Spirit levels up with you or levels up based on the spell that you use.
Yeah.
So it starts at
it does
3, but yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No, I meant the actual stat block situation.
got it.
Because there was so much of it. Okay. Face spirit.
With that, you're going to have to find what you want your Fae Spirit to look like, so I can create
Okay.
a token for it.
I will get on that.
I mean, you got any questions?
No.
Else doing? Good. Daniel went to go get his food. Sounds delicious. I'm starving.
I'm
Did I
back.
eat? Oh, welcome. Say,
Thank
like, I don't think I've eaten
I actually
today.
didn't go get food. I just went to the bathroom.
Oh, I hope it was eventful or non-eventful. Uneventful. I hope it went completely normally.
It went how it needed to. Thank you.
Yeah. I think
This is,
if you're going to the bathroom, I think the least events possible is probably the best.
yeah. In most cases.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't gone for the food yet. No.
No worries. We're going to wrap up this next part, and then we'll go from there, I think.
What's the best site to look at the face spirit options?
You mean for like images and stuff?
Like
Or-
I guess there's specific ones I should be looking at.
Oh no, it says in the stat block. Let's see. When you cast a spell, choose a mood. Oh, never mind. I thought I think when I said heard choose a mood, I thought that meant it shows its form, which it kind of does. We'll just use the standard one, unless you want your face spirit to look like something fun, and then we'll use that instead. You can make it look like whatever you want. I don't care.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. If you want to summon a very pink unicorn as your face spirit, I don't care, but it uses the same stat block.
I'll look at some cool images and like if it happens before I find one, then we can just use whatever basic one is available.
Cool.
Cool. Thank you. Let's see. Resembles a fey creature of your choice. Got it.
What spells do you have right now, Emmy?
That I'm switching out.
You don't have to switch. Yeah, what spells did you have prepared? Are you switching them out now?
I'm kind of like looking through the spells and add them, and then gonna switch them out.
Okay, got it. Makes sense. You don't have to. You don't have to change anything. You can just unmark the red dot too, so you don't have to delete anything. You can only prepare so many
Yeah.
spells a day.
Mm.
It's the same for you too, Evie. Technically, you have access to your entire spell list. It's just you can only prepare so many per day.
Oh my gosh, there's fairy dragons. What?
Yeah.
It's
That's
so
cool.
cute. I want that. Yeah, I want that.
Got it. Wisdom modifier plus your cleric level. So you can prepare up to 8 spells, Emmy.
Yeesh.
Actually, it's probably the same thing for you, Evie. Do you have a modifier of 3 or 4 on your wisdom?
Ugh.
Plus you, I think.
I'm
I think
just
he's
stretching.
yelling.
Evie, what's your wisdom modifier? 3 or 4?
Mine? 4.
So you can prepare 9 spells a day. That's fun. We're gonna let Emmy continue on and figure out her spells. There's no rush, Emmy, unless you need something immediately, and then just tell me and we'll make it happen. But I will have everyone go ahead and now roll that perception check. If you want to cast any spells in order to roll it, it's only good for an hour, so I mean, maybe not doesn't make sense in this case, but you know, based on what you've done, I don't know if you guys have spells that last 8 hours. Either way, perception check, however you'd like to roll it.
Perception. Got it. Hold on.
Perception. I guess I'll
Let me
roll
get
for
that
Alaric.
over to Owlbear.
6. Alaric is not very perceptive in the morning.
Fair enough.
Tough.
For any of us.
Raps.
And I'm still thinking about
Oh
that.
my
beef.
god. Apparently not. Except
Well,
for Emmy.
Emmy, save us.
Emmy did save you guys. Wow.
Emmy is a morning person.
Amy had to wake up early to
Apparently.
pray. She never knows
Yep.
what spell she's going to take, so she has to wake up early to sort through them all. So yeah, as most of you guys are enjoying breakfast and chatting amongst yourselves and getting ready for the day, Emmy, you notice that while there's not a lot of movement above you or in the room that you're in, or even next door at the hearth, you do hear a commotion coming from outside. And you know that it was snowy and everything last night. You know that it's still relatively early. You guys didn't wake up super early in the morning, but early enough that the amount of noise coming from outside is probably a little bit abnormal.
She'll tell the others.
Yeah.
Oh.
So as Emmy points it out, you all finally start to pay attention to it, and yeah, it sounds like a large crowd.
Oh no, not again.
Flashbacks.
It's the day before. Now you guys are in the time loop. Poor Kaylin. You thought it was bad for Kaylin.
I guess we'll go outside now.
Sure. I don't remember what the order was. Anybody remember what the order was?
The talking order?
Yeah. I think Kyle was first, right?
Kyle,
And then
Alaric,
Alaric.
myself. I don't remember.
And then it was me and then Emmy.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Okay, so Kyle's vote is to go outside. Alaric does that. Yep, agrees with Kyle. Adom,
I'll go Kyle.
outside it is. Evie,
I will go outside.
right,
See
Emmy.
what everyone else is.
Yeah,
She'll follow Evie.
perfect. Okay, so you all do. You catch the attention of the the innkeeper there, and he kind of shrugs his shoulders, and you guys do decide to make it outside. And as you do, you find that there is, in fact, I'm using the wrong map. Sorry, wrong map. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Right map. There's so many maps.
Oh god, the timelines are intertwining.
Yeah, exactly. You step outside and you're no longer exhausted, Emmy. I don't need you to. There we go.
Why can't I zoom in?
Oh, maybe because am I still running sync view? Oh, I am. There we go.
Thank you.
Because you were under my control. I'm just kidding. Okay, so you step outside and Fimbris. We're not even gonna say Fimbris is there. Goodbye, Fimbris. You look out across, and the noise is coming from near the bathhouse, and there seems to be a large crowd. I've made them smaller just to put more people in here. Again, this court is huge, so this is probably the accurate size of people, including yourselves, but it's fine. And you notice that there are, there's a couple people standing outside. Kai is closer. You can see off in the distance. You recognize Kai. He is coming actually probably from here. He's responsible for the Temple of Akma here sometimes. But he is walking in that direction. And you can see off, you can make out Jacinta. You may not be able to make out Kahel from here, but you can, in fact, see them. Jacinta. Okay, real.
I guess I'll head to Kai. Kai, what's going on?
He continues to walk towards the thing. He may not be able to hear you. Obviously, as you get closer, as you step outside, you can hear that the noise is a little bit louder. It's not shouting, I guess. It's just like, it's loud. People are out here talking. They're not sure what's happening. You can tell that a lot of them are carrying towels or bathrobes or various things as if they're not being allowed inside the bathhouse. And Kai continues to walk.
Bathhouse party? Let's go, guys.
I don't think that's what's happening, but I agree we should go find out.
Yes.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
So you arrive just as Kai is beginning to console Jacinta. Jacinta is clearly in distress. Kirill has a look of, I don't know, not terror but sternness on his face as he's attempting to keep all of the people out of the bathhouse. And after a short time of Kai trying to calm Jacinta down, he raises his voice and speaks to the crowd, and says, I'm sorry, but the bathhouse will be closed for this morning. Please come back later. We have business to attend to. And the crowd, asks some questions, and what's going on? Why can't I just want to get clean? And Kai again calms them down, like, I will speak to the speak to the first reader, see if she will allow people access temporarily to the bathhouses within the Emerald Door. But for now, please return to your rooms. And a lot of them end up walking past you, or walking into the Pillars of Pedagogy. They scamper off. But regardless, the crowd, after a few minutes, disperses. Some of them continue to kind of try to bug Kai or talk to Kirill, but none of them are really getting any answers. And you all can approach as normal.
Kyle, you should go say hi to Jacinta since she knows your face.
Yes, ma'am. I'll go. Uh, I'll approach Jacinta.
Sure.
Hello. What's
So
going on?
Jacinta, peers over at you, and she sees you, and um, I don't know. She at first seems pleased to see you, um, and looks up at Kai and says, "Yes, Kyle. He's responsible for investigating Janusi's murders. Yes, maybe he can help here too." And then she realizes what she just said and continues to cry again. And Kai speaks to all of you as he sees you all approaching, and looks down at Jacinta and looks at the rest of you, and a quizzical look comes across his face as if it's maybe not his place to do this, but he says, yes, maybe you can help. Please, let's all go inside." And Kirill kind of holds the door open for you, and you see Kai grab one of the last remaining people, and one of the last remaining stragglers, I suppose you could say, and tells them, "Go to the Emerald Door and gather Sin for Skoda immediately." And the person kind of gets an offended look on his face, as if he's not he doesn't work here. He's just a scribe or a study like everybody else. But Kai lets him know that if he does this for him, he'll be the first person that's allowed back in the bathhouse. So the guy kind of shrugs his shoulders and wanders off. But as you enter, you start to get parts of the story. You guys thought I didn't have a map for the bathhouse. I just didn't want to show you the bathhouse yet. I got it.
You
I got them.
liar.
I got the maps. You step in, and Jacinta starts to kind of tell her story, and you can tell that Kai, this is kind of the second time that he's heard it, but Jacinta describes that, this morning when she came to refresh the bathhouse, to sweep up and to bring in fresh incense and herbs, she noticed that there was a discarded book left near one of the pools. And as she went to investigate it, she looked down deeper into the pool of water and found Daryl's body.
Daryl.
Daryl was found naked in the bottom of the rightmost pool, and she immediately raised the alarm. She rushed next door to go speak to Kirill, as we spoke of before. And together, the two of them were able to remove Daryl's body from the pool, but it was clear to both of them that he had been deceased, and possibly deceased for several hours at that point. He was getting bloated. There was nothing they could do. They attempted to do some CPR, but whatever the D&D version of CPR is.
Revivify?
Yeah, well, they're not. Yeah, kind of. But they don't use magic like that, and so nothing ended up working. And so at that point, Jacinta ran next door to the temple, or rather sent someone. Kirill sent someone to go get Kai, and as the crowd was forming and Kai arrived, you guys kind of got here first on scene to investigate. But sure enough, you look past, and Kai kind of glances around, and Daryl's body has been, we'll put it a little bit closer, but Daryl's body has in fact been dragged out of the pools that you all just bathed in the night before.
Ew.
Yuck.
I will point out that he was
No.
not there at the bottom of the pool while you guys are swimming. Okay, this wasn't just some weird perception check. You didn't you guys are fine. You weren't swimming with the deceased body. You just.
Oh, we had to check because you didn't want to show the map.
Yeah,
Apparently.
you're right. I didn't want to show the map because I couldn't show you the map and hide Daryl's deceased body from the map at the same time. So here,
I thought we just had to use our imagination.
your imagination. Well, you did at the time, but I did have a map.
Well,
Oh no.
I'm gonna get that book.
I was say we should probably see what book it is and go check out the body and see if we can determine what the cause of death was.
Also, guess who has Speak with the Dead?
Ooh.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Emmy, our savior.
Mm-hmm.
Do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are we?
Unless the dead body doesn't want to speak with you because it doesn't want to talk to its killer. Dun dun
I
dun.
didn't.
You did it.
Emmy's the killer.
I didn't do it.
I knew
Maybe. Maybe it was me all along.
Something.
That would be freaking wild.
Are we going to investigate first, or are we going immediately into speak with the dead?
Maybe we should investigate first.
it. Yeah. Get all the details down first, and then try to see what we could get from his perspective.
Some
Mm.
someone should tell Jacinta or Kayril to like make sure no one comes in while we're investigating.
Sure. Kayril nods at Kai, and Kai confirms, and Kayril actually takes Jacinta out as well. Jacinta is kind of distraught over the body. So they take a step outside and wait for, Skoda or whomever, but they also attempt to stop people from entering as we go. Kai kind of steps back and, he actually, I'm sorry, he would step forward and he says a quick prayer over the body. But as he sees that you all are interested in taking a look, he does take a step back and actually sits down on one of the nearby benches. It's still steamy from the night before. This place, the bathhouse, is open almost 24 hours. There's usually always an attendant on duty. People bathe at odd times or have various practices, so it's not unusual. It is a little less steamy in here than it would be on any other morning, but it's calmed down a little bit. So the steam is not affecting your vision. It's not so hot in here that you're all uncomfortable. It's just a little stuffy and humid. I don't know if you guys have ever been in a sauna, like a bathhouse or anything like that, but
Yeah, last night.
Are we able to determine, because due to the steam and the moisture, how many sets of footprints might be on the ground? Like if there are wet footprints?
I'll go ahead and involve an investigation check if you'd like. Are you looking around the room in general and not?
Specifically, like around the pool that Daryl was found in.
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, Stealth, thank you so much again for the raid. Sorry, man, I've got them muted, but
Ooh, wow.
yeah, this is why I'm
Wait,
DMing,
what
so I have to respond to these guys. But I just want to say thank you personally. I know I typed
That
it,
was
but
like in
I do
between
appreciate it
19
very
and
much.
9.
And I'll try to catch up with you soon.
It's
So-
showing me 20, like 19 plus my modifier.
20, yep. So let's see. Which information do I want to give you? You know what? I'll give you whatever you want. You notice actually quite a few footprints. So you notice what appears to be your footprints or your party's footprints. There are Kaio's little clawed toes. There are, Adom and Alaric's light steps. Emmy is, more of a heavy walker, probably because of the armor that she usually wears.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Emmy, Evie, you can even see your footprints. As you fly around and land, you can see, gaps in your feet. You can see where Jacinta came in, or Jacinta, excuse me, Kayril's bigger boots. And you see you see Kai's footsteps as well. He's wearing boots. The only other set of footprints that you see that really stand out seem to be one. And it goes directly from the entrance that you all came in, and it goes over to the benches where Kai is currently sitting, where there is a towel and a robe draped over one end of it. We'll say on the same bench that Kai is on, and then it goes directly over into the pool. And that is the only other set of footsteps that you can currently see.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna do this the same way that we did the murder, or the first murder scene. Now we've got murder scene number 2, so it makes sense that we would do it the same way. There will be a medicine check involved and an investigation check involved, just like we did with Jasuni's deceased body. So, whoever would like to participate in either of those, feel free to place yourself around the body if you'd like. And then we will roll an average just as we did before. So if you have like a terrible medicine or you're not willing to roll that, then don't, because you might bring the average down. If you'd like to roll separately from the group, I will allow that as well, just for funsies. Let's see. So Alaric, what do you have as far as medicine? A 1. So medicine, Alaric will probably roll separately.
I'm gonna do a medicine check.
Evie
Okay,
has a +4 modifier, so she'll go ahead and roll.
love it. Kyle, are you
Uh,
participating in the medicine check?
Yes, but I'm gonna use enhance ability to get advantage.
Okay, perfect.
Emmy's gonna do medicine as well.
Hey, awesome, love it. Okay, so let's have everyone roll here. There's 4 of you, and we will. Yes.
Wow, never mind. It got stuck
Are you
between the
shit-
17 and the 10, but I guess it chose 17. So I'm at 21.
What's with these rolls? What? Oh no, it rolled again. I rolled a 3. I rolled a 3. So I got 9 total. I didn't realize that if you accidentally click the die, it'll roll again.
I get a 19.
19 total.
Yes.
Okay. So you all look down at the body, and from your first glance, it's pretty obvious that Darrell drowned. His lungs are filled with fluid to indicate that he was obviously breathing or taking in some water. His body is pretty bloated. He's been taking on water for some time, but it's really the presence of like water in the lungs that really notifies that you guys that his cause of death primarily was in this case drowning, because if he was dead before entering the water, he wouldn't be breathing water, if that makes sense. You take a little bit more time, and after noticing the bloating of the body and of the fingertips, you notice that it's not just the lower limbs and the extremities that have started to bloat. His upper arms, his legs have started to bloat as well, and which puts his time of death right around midnight, or at least the early hours of the day. So we'll say a few hours after you guys departed the bathhouses. It's a good chance that that's when Darrell entered, and probably was deceased around midnight. After a little bit more, I'm not a doctor, so I've been giving you all this fun stuff because I thought it was cool, but now I'll read this to you. It says, a DC 15 checkpoint reveals that the victim suffered a heart attack before drowning. I don't know how you discover that he had a heart attack before drowning. I was trying to tell you that he died before he entered the water anyway. So now you know he had a heart attack. I don't know, bloodshot eyes, but I think if you were drowning, you'd probably have bloodshot eyes as well. Anyway, yeah, he died before he hit the water, and apparently of a heart attack. I'm gonna give it to you since Evie rolled really well. You all rolled well. You were just under it, but you do notice, surprisingly enough, that that Darrell's eyes are very red and swollen, particularly around the tear glands.
Uh,
And then whoever would like to roll the investigation check, you're free to do so now. Alaric will join you in that. He has a +4 to investigation. So
I only have a +1.
so I still need to roll his medicine check first. Let's see what he's got. 13 wasn't enough to give you more information. I gave it to you anyway, so.
I have +5 on investigation.
Okay. If whoever would like to roll, then you're more than welcome to.
So his tear ducts were all swollen and stuff, just like Genesee's were.
Natural 1.
Beautiful.
6.
I mean, I might as well just roll. Fuck it.
For investigate.
13.
Oh, I have no modifiers for this, but my
It'd be
roll
worse than a 1, so you can only bring the average up.
Yeah.
I'll roll.
fair.
You guys got this.
Uh
Oh,
When I said that, I didn't.
uh.
I'm not smart.
Okay.
Emmy's
oh,
not smart.
oh god.
God.
Jeez. Okay.
What the hell, man?
Can
We-
we do that little time warp thing and rewind and restart?
He was able to determine that he had a heart attack, but you can't see crap around the investigation. So medicine check, perfect. You know exactly how this guy died, but why, or who done it? No idea. No clue. So I
We're the
tried.
best investigators.
The best investment, not in this place. You look around. You know, Evie was able to. Evie was able to discover some footprints leading up to it, but short of that, a quick glance around the pool doesn't really give you any other indicators whatsoever.
Fuck.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, it's on plain sight. You do still notice the book that that Jacinta mentioned.
Let's look at it.
Yeah. So you notice that printed on the title is it's a big book, and the title of the book is The Golden Ass.
Again.
Damn.
Well, sure like this book.
It's the only book.
Two golden asses.
There's only one golden ass.
Wait, what?
There can only be one.
The only book titled The Golden Ass.
But then Genesee had one. So
Janusi had notes on one.
oh. Huh. Okay.
You didn't find the book. You found notes written in ink. I don't remember what color the ink was. It could have been black. It could have been purple. But notes were found.
Is there anything on the book? Like notes or stuff like that?
Powder, ink.
Poison.
I mean, I will let you roll another investigation check on the book if you'd like. Whoever's
What's
holding
that?
the book.
Who's holding the book?
Who has the highest investigation?
5.
Not
I have
me.
5.
All right, Kyle, go grab the book.
Investigation, definitely not me.
Can I get help from a Lark?
Actually, here's a full investigation, but you already get advantage because of your thing. I'll roll for a lark though, since you get you get advantage because of your spell.
No,
I can't
it's
use guidance on him, right?
You
my
can.
thing is specific. So I only get it. I picked How's Wisdom for.
Oh.
Yeah, it's specific.
Okay. Then yes, Alaric will help you. Yes, Emmy, you can cast guidance.
Let's go.
Okay.
18. 23 plus 3, 28 total.
Absolutely disgusting.
Absolutely.
Give me the juice.
I'm gonna give you quite a bit, I guess. Do with it what you will. Okay. Kyle picks up the book and flips through it first and foremost. And Kyle, there are no it looks relatively new, actually. It It was obviously handwritten. Darl is one of the authors of the book. And as you already mentioned, you do recognize the name from the notes that was in Janusi's room. Everyone here can go ahead and roll me a history check with advantage.
Oh,
All of us have advantage.
Oh God.
Sick.
You know why I gave you advantage.
Thanks. Look at Kyle go.
19.
19 total.
I got a nat 20.
Nice.
Perfect. So if you guys
Yay!
remember that not only does the title of the book match the notes that were written on Janusi's desk, but you also recall that Darl mentioned that he went back to Janusi's room yesterday, well, 2 evenings ago, and found Janusi reading the book and took it back from him. So you know that this book was at least in Janusi's possession for, a short period of time. Kyle, as you rustle through the pages looking for notes, you notice that your fur begins to get covered in an ochre colored powder, this orange colored dust. And again, a lot of you recall, and I think Alaric might even still have it on him. I don't remember who has it in their inventory, but you found a bauble. You found like a jar on the tree in the hall, and you also found a piece of wrapping paper that had a similar colored dusting to this. But not only that, Kyle, as you notice the dust, you realize that it's interacting with the humidity in the air around you. As it starts to get, as you can see the moisture on your fur starting to build up. It's not as noticeable in some of the others, but as a Kirpka or Kirkpa, you have, you are covered in fur, right? And so this moisture is kind of building up on the tips of your fur, and as this ochre dust interacts with the water, it's starting to turn black. There you go.
Get it off.
Um,
I almost
Can I smell it?
died. Almost killed me. Can you what?
can I smell it?
Boy,
You can try to smell it. Do you want to smell it?
I don't know. No, wash it off.
What?
Clean yourself. Get it off.
At least he's
What?
not gonna taste it.
I was gonna taste it. I wanted to know the smell.
Bruh.
Okay, I'll wash it
This is
off.
obviously poison. The stuff that killed Janussi, the stuff that just killed Darl, it gave them heart attacks because we know that Janussi was dead beforehand. We know he had swollen tear ducts and stuff, just like Darl was dead before he hit the water, and he has swollen red tear ducts.
Oh, I'm sorry, it didn't seem that obvious right away. But okay,
Oh,
I'll
you
wash
have
it off.
friends. I'm trying to think if it has a smell. I don't see. I'm trying to read the description here, and I'm trying to see if it even does have a smell.
Evie's gonna dunk Kyle in the water and scrub it off his fur.
Just dunk him.
That person was in there.
Oh well.
A dead person was better dead germs than dead germs.
She'll put him over in the other pool.
To find out whether this has.
Better dead germs than golden ass flakes. What is
Golden ass powder. Yeah.
it?
To go the NAS.
Ass powder.
To say, due to a lack of information, that this does not have a natural scent to it.
Because I wanted to tell the difference between the black ink that was on Janusi's tongue and fingers.
Give that to you. This is not an ink. The powder itself, that's a good guess.
But it turns black with moisture.
Yeah, that's
So
what-
if he's like, you know how people like touch their fingertip to their tongue to flip the pages of a book? So if he's
Mhm.
doing that and the powder's on his fingers, that would make so much sense as to why the tip of his tongue and his fingertips are black. And
Yeah,
he's ingesting the poison.
yeah, and well, the tongue is wet, so
Yeah. So Evie's going to continue to like dunk Kyle in the water and scrub him clean with the soap.
oh god.
Kyle, I'm going to give you a single D20 roll with advantage
Oh Lord.
to decide if I tell you any more about this situation. I'm going to let the dogs out, so it'll be a surprise for me. Be right back. What's wrong, Presley? Didn't you go out? I thought the door was open.
Is a normal
Just
D20?
a regular D20.
Oh, oh jeez, oh god. The fuck me dice.
We believe.
Should have changed the dice color.
Last time I
Oh,
did that, I rolled a 1.
oh fuck. Okay, here we go.
Hey, what might not work for me might work for you. It's up to you, Doc. Good luck.
Don't fuck me, don't fuck me, don't fuck me. Ew.
So you got 14?
Yeah, 14.
What is the total roll? I guess I didn't give you anything, right? I gave you a
Yeah,
gave you a
told me to
D20 with
roll
advantage.
20. 14
I'll give you your investigation modifier. What's that?
plus 5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
19 then.
so 19.
In the amount of time that the powder gets on your fingers and starts to turn to black, you and Evie kind of come to the same conclusion at similar times that this is most likely the poison that killed both Darl and Janusi. And while you're still investigating it and trying to think back, you did some research just last night on on poisons. You've been training in a poisoner's kit for a while. You still can't place this poison as itself. And as you lift your hand to kind of sniff it and try to get a better idea of what it may be, Evie essentially just tackles you into the pool and begins scrubbing you vigorously. Any scent that was there is gone. The book goes in with it, essentially kind of destroyed. You all kind of out of the pool see that it's not enough. Or it doesn't seem to be extreme, but that the edges of the book that are exposed to this water, they begin to blacken as well, as the blackness kind of disseminates into the pool around them. But Evie scrubs Kyle's hands and face and nose and everything clean, and Evie scrubs herself and then drags Kyle kind of out of the pool again as they kind of struggle together. Kyle's confused as to what's going on, but in the end of it, you're both clean. The book is now like half floating, half starting to sink into the water, and you can all see the blackness kind of, leaching away from it. But unfortunately, you don't know off the top of your head, Kyle. You've not come across this poison in your research. I will say that you do have quite a few clues. I'll let you name them to me, and then I'll decide if I want to give you more information or not based on rolls or things that you give me. So you've all seen the poison act. We'll go in, I think, talking order, which is Kyle first anyway. So if you can name something that the poison does, do so now.
So it seems like it changes as soon as it interacts with the individual. So there was 2 colors in Genusi's body. There was an ink that was blue, and it probably he was using that ink that was blue, and when he touched it, it turned black. So I'm assuming the poison changes after interacting with the body.
You're on the right track, but I think you're overthinking it just a little. So
Oh.
I'll try to give you some more information in a bit. The next one was Alaric. I can't really give you anything with Alaric. I'm gonna just roll for Alaric. His investigation is pretty high, so 18. That's a pretty darn good roll for Alaric. Alaric actually. What will I give you? I'm going to go ahead and say that he confirms that the powder does in fact change colors for you, or he doesn't confirm. He concludes that the powder turns from that ochre brown color to a black color when it's exposed to moisture or water, which would explain the Janusi's fingertips being blackened and the book edges now being blackened, your fur blackening, as well as Janusi's tongue potentially being blackened, because again, if somebody's licking their tongue and flipping through books, it's possible. However, Alaric seems skeptical that the powder and the ink are connected. He thinks that I think he recalls that when you all spoke to Silvira, I think I just said her name wrong. No, Silvira is correct. Sabikis is last name. When you spoke to Silvira, she noted that Janusi likes to take a lot of notes, and the different colored ink was more than likely Janusi just either switching colors to keep notes more organized, or he potentially ran out of ink, like the purple ink, and switched to a black. But he doesn't think as Alaric fishes out the book, the pages themselves aren't, the ink is running. The pages themselves aren't necessarily turning colors, but the edges of the pages themselves are now what did look like a normal book color or parchment color is now, tinted black. So he doesn't think it's the ink necessarily. He thinks the powder itself was placed on the book somehow. So, I think Adam is next. Adam, what else do you think you know about the poison?
Oh, I was muted.
You were.
Adam doesn't know much about this poison, unfortunately, given the fact that it wasn't used. Adam didn't really see it prior to being used, apart from what was on Janusi and now this, like in the book. It wasn't used in any prior engagement that he'd seen, so he doesn't know much about this poison.
Sure. Okay. Evie, what do you think you know about the poison?
That it causes the person who ingests it, once it's activated, to have a heart attack. And, well, I've already said this a couple of times, but both bodies, had the swollen, tear ducts.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yep. Emmy, what do you think you know about the poison? What do you think Emmy knows about the poison?
That it triggers the heart attacks and makes the tear ducts swollen, like everyone else had said.
Okay, so Evie, you're just confirming what Evie said. They're just confirming that the two
Mhm.
bodies that have died so far, these are the things that are connected. Okay, so the three things that you know about the poison so far, or that you assume you know, are that the powder turns to black when it's touched by moisture, that it causes heart attacks in its victims, and that it causes swollen tear ducts, or what else causes swollen tear ducts? Crying, right? Janusi was covered with tear tracks, right? His face was covered with, by tracks of tears. So it causes some kind of maybe irritation or swelling or some kind of tears to be produced by the victim. So those are the three things you know when you're trying to narrow down this poison. What's up, Kyle?
I think it might be too late to ask, but did the powder give off like a magical essence in a way?
No. I'll say that none of you got the I mean, this is you know, magic is all around you in this place, and it's a major part of what happens across the
Right.
continent. But I mean, there are still deadly plants here that can be used. This may have been manufactured. This could have been produced from, or you know, collected from a plant. You're not sure, but I wouldn't say that it's immediately magical in nature. No. All right. Any other quick questions or comments or anything else you want to do in this room
Could
before
I
people start showing up?
could I take a vial of the black ink that it's in the water, or black powder that's in the water? I don't
Yeah,
know.
you can take a vial of the water. It'd probably be really hard to like distill again, but
Fuck.
it's yeah, you
Mhm.
can take a vial of it.
Sure. Okay, I'll do that.
Could there potentially be some like on Daryl's like fingertips that we could like scrape into the vial?
You're more than welcome to like take scrapings underneath his like fingernails and stuff to see if there's anything there.
Mhm.
Go ahead and roll me another medicine check.
Okay.
Just Mel or all of us?
Mel is the one that suggested it, so we're going to go with her first.
Okay.
If there's anything else you guys would like to do, you're more than welcome to, but we'll give that one to her specifically.
Can I have Emmy help me so I can roll with advantage?
If Emmy would like to help and not do anything else, then yes, of course.
Yeah, I'll help.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Because I think Emmy is also decent at medicine too. Yeah,
Yeah.
At what?
Okay.
got a pretty decent medicine. Yeah, medicine.
16.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. So you grab another vial from Kyle. If you have some of your own, you can go ahead and grab those. And you do. You notice that because the water's been in the body for a very long time, it's really hard to get anything. Nothing is found immediately on the fingertips, but you do notice that on the outside of the thumb, caught in between the thumb and the thumbnail, there are the smallest particles of not only this black stain, but possibly even some of that ochre dust that hasn't quite been touched by water. It's as if the pressure and the swelling of the skin almost locked it into place.
I'm gonna get that in its own personal vial and seal it off before the moisture can activate it.
That's a great question. I will let you roll a sleight of hand check to do that. Or if you'd like to hand that off to somebody else, then they can do it.
I have a +2 sleight of hand. What do you guys have?
Lark is a 7.
Okay, can Alaric do that for me then?
3.
4.
I'd like to hand it off
-1.
to Alaric.
Okay. Alaric will go ahead and do it. We'll say that you're helping him.
Yeah.
Because you're holding the hand steady. So Alaric takes out a small dagger out of his pouch and brushes it off to get anything, some pocket lint or some whatever off. And with Emmy holding it still, he rolls a 21. And we'll say that you are able to. So you take out. He scrapes along that inner lining of the fingernail and grabs out all of the dust or the staining that had turned black. You both gently blow on the fingertip to try to dry off any moisture that's there. You do the same thing with the dagger to make sure that there's no moisture on that. And then he very delicately, with just the tip of the dagger, you pull back the finger, and he's able to scrape out what appears to be that ochre dust just under the nail. And you are able to place it in its own little vial. It's barely anything. I mean, it's hardly there at all, but it may be just enough to match it with something else. You guys, if I don't know who still has that piece of paper, I think it might have been Emmy.
I think so.
Or if you can track down where more of this dust came from. If you can talk to somebody in the library who might be able to point you in the right direction of a book. or if you may have met somebody who runs the apothecary. I don't know, last night or something. Maybe maybe you could do that. That was a joke because Kyle did get it. I thought that was funny, but it's fine.
Oh,
Thanks. I'll be here all week, really. But anyway,
Good luck.
you are able to get a little bit of the dust off, and yeah. Anything else? I think that wraps up everybody's actions.
I wanted to cast a speak with the dead on his corpse.
Sure. So go
let's
ahead.
go.
Go ahead and read what Speak with the Dead does, and then go ahead and try, I suppose.
You grant the solvents of life and intelligence to a corpse of your choice within range, allowing it to answer the questions you pose. The corpse must still have a month and can't be undead. The spell fails if the corpse was the target of the spell within the last 10 days. Until the spell ends, you can ask the corpse up to 5 questions. The corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive, and the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer if you are hostile to it or it recognizes you as an enemy. The spell doesn't return the creature's soul to its body, only its animating spirit.
Okay. So
Mhm.
more or less, you get 5 questions. It
Mhm.
will answer in the way that it answers. It doesn't have to be truthful. You and Adom kind of formed some kind of relationship with Darl, so he's not necessarily hostile to any of you, and maybe he's a little bit friendly to Adom. But you do have 5 questions and 5 questions only, and hopefully you get the answers you want. So if you want to take some time and think about the questions that you're asking it, do so. If you want to just wing it, good luck.
Okay. I already have 2 in mind, I think.
Okay.
Do my party members have any questions they want me to ask?
Well, let's hear yours to see so we don't ask the same ones.
Well, I think the 2 questions I have are pretty obvious, which is who killed you
Yeah.
and how did you die, I guess?
Well, I don't know if he would know either of those because he took the book from Genesi and then brought it in here to read it, I guess. I don't.
I would have asked if he was alone.
Well, there was
Hmm.
only one set of footprints. Like, we could ask him maybe if he was hanging out with anyone in the hearth before he came here, or if anyone else showed interest in the book, maybe.
So I should ask about. Let me write these down so that way I don't forget. Could be asking
You ask what you
questions.
want. I mean, the other 3 questions are left up to the party. So we're really just deciding what the other 3 questions are.
Oh, okay. Now I'm unsure about my questions.
They're your questions. It was a good idea. You're using the spell.
Okay. I guess I'll ask if he was alone here.
Okay. You could ask if he was alone in the. Okay, got it. That's 3. Anybody else?
Um, who's the last person he saw?
Okay. 4. Anybody else got a 5th question?
Mm, what? No.
Did we already? This is a question for you, but did we already know? It said that it was him and someone else that wrote the book. Do we know who the other person was that wrote the book?
None of the other names that you really recognize. It seems to be like kind of a collection of like, well, from what Kyle got maybe briefly before it was tossed into the water. It looked like a collection of kind of risque poems, you know, adult poems or adult limericks that that had, you know, funny jokes or funny punchlines or things like that. He was one of the authors, and none of the other names you really recognize, but they were probably poets that he'd worked with around Faerun.
Okay, so there were multiple other authors, not just one other.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Trying to think of a fifth question.
We could ask him why he didn't go to the ceremony.
True. Well, we kind of know. He hated Genesee. Sure, we can ask that.
I don't know. This is a shot in the dark. What do we think? Like, some would be something Clark would ask.
It could be the fifth question.
You've got the. What is the fifth question? What did you say? You know.
I was suggesting maybe we could ask him why he wasn't at the ceremony, but it wasn't like oh, this is what it's going to be. It was just a suggestion for the party to kind of debate.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if we were going to go with that or if we were going to ponder like something that maybe Laura would come up with as Alaric.
I don't know. Alaric would probably be wanting to get a direct answer about. You know, you just ask him, "Did you kill Janusi?" Right? It's a pretty direct question.
Okay.
It eliminates a suspect. It's, you know, something that the guy doesn't have to be truthful about it, but at the same time, like if he's dead, why would he not want to answer truthfully?
Yeah.
Okay, so Emmy, the first question was, well, this is, you're not asking yet. I want to make sure that you know what we got. So the first question was, who killed you, right? And then, or rather, how did you die? Who killed you? And then it was, who did you last see from Kyle, right? Or you had a third question. What was your third question, Emmy?
I kind of forgot it. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Kyle asked, who did you last see? Alaric asked, or was going to ask, do you kill Janusi? Which means now we're back to a fifth question.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. What was that, Adam? What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said something.
The question I said earlier was he alone?
Okay. I mean, you can make that your fifth question if you'd like.
I thought that was the third.
Is that the third question? Okay. Well,
the fifth question was going to be, why didn't he attend the ceremony?
If you ask him if he was alone, and then you ask him who was the last person he saw, you could potentially get the same answer. Does that make sense? Right? Because if he says he was alone, the answer is no. I mean, I guess he just answers no. So, okay, that's fine. Those can be the 5 questions, then. Okay, so Emmy, go ahead and cast your spell and start asking questions. Good luck.
I have to wait. I have to say all. Oh my god!
I mean,
I didn't write
ask
them down.
Who did? It's not my job.
Because I thought it was gonna be answered in one go.
We could just treat it that way then. It's fine. So Amy casts a spell, and as a group, you all start to ask Darrell's animated corpse questions. The first of which is, how did you die? And Darl explains that I started to feel ill around midnight after I heard the final bell, and my heart started fluttering, and I got sick, and I threw up over there, and then I slid into the water, and I couldn't move. I just held my breath for as long as I could, but the pain was too much. I had to breathe in eventually, and that all became dark after that. And sure enough, he glances over, and you now notice, the investigation check was very poor earlier, but you do notice now that there is in fact traces of vomit at the side of the pool and near the edge of the water, near where the book was sat, over here near this pillar. You raise your next question after getting that information. You ask, do you know who did this to you? And no, did this to me? No, I as I told you, I got sick. I've been drinking all day. Maybe this is my fault. Maybe this is something I deserved. I don't know, but I don't know who did this to me. I'm just dead. The third question would have been, were you alone this evening? Were you bathing alone? And he confirms, yes, I'd been drinking at the hearth all the evening, all day, and the night before, and I decided it was time for me to spend some time alone, and I needed to get clean. So that wraps up the third question. The fourth question being, who did you last see? From Kyle. Daryl refers to the last person that he saw and spoke with being the barkeep, Brygon. Brygon kicked him out last night, just as he did the night before, around 2 in the morning, or I guess it couldn't have been 2 in the morning. Kicked him out as he was closing up early, and that was around 11:30ish, I guess. He refused to serve him any longer. That was question 4, yes. And then question 5, I already forgot. So somebody please fill me in. What was question 5? Oh yeah, Alaric wanted to know if he killed Janussi. So Alaric asked directly, did you kill Janussi? And Tarl, his animated corpse, smirks just a little bit. No, I did not kill Janussi, but I did punch that bastard in the face. And his body goes limp one more time as the last question is answered.
You can ask no more questions.
Again, is lifeless, and as we all know from the Speak with the Dead spell, it can't be used for another 10 days. So, yeah. Did that answer all your questions?
Pretty much.
So.
Right there.
Honestly, it's the same.
Really weird.
What was that, Adam?
I said, honestly, it's a shame. I'll never get that piece of literature, too.
Oh yeah.
I was actually looking forward to it, believe it or not.
I was just confused as to why Daryl.
I honestly think it wasn't intentional because the book was intended for Janussi. I don't think that whoever put the poison on it thought that Daryl was going to punch him in the face and take the book. So I think it was honestly a situation of collateral damage.
Yeah, that makes
It
sense.
really seems like that would be the case.
Yep.
How long? Like when exactly did Janussi die? That was what, yesterday, or was it the day before when Janussi died?
He was found at 7:30 a.m. yesterday morning. So sometime
So
in the
he
night.
died-
The last person that saw him, I think, was at 11 p.m. the night before.
But okay, so Daryl took the book. That means he would have had ingested the poison too. So the poison would have had like I'm trying to sort this out through my head.
But he might not have like interacted with he might not have actually opened the book and gone through it.
The
And
poison.
also the interaction with the moisture, like that combination, that perfect combination probably didn't happen until just now, last night.
I believe Jonathan said the poison started to like come up more as you were scrolling through or as Kyle was scrolling through the pages. So just because like it would have been on the outside of the book, but more along the inside pages kind of thing. So maybe when he grabbed it, there wasn't any traces or anything like that on Daryl's hand. But definitely on Janusi's lip, that's for sure.
Maybe Daryl was reading this at the bar. Maybe the barkeep, maybe he would have noticed if something black was or orange was on his fingers.
We can go
Then
ask.
Brian would be the next person we got.
2 nights ago, before Janusi's death, Darl left the book behind, and Brygon had to remind him to grab it. A book. You don't know if it's this book, so you're more than welcome to ask and confirm, but you know that the book was almost left behind, and Brygon reminded him to pick it up.
Trigon?
The barkeep.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So many fucking names.
I gotta keep track of them too. And ones you've never heard of.
There's more? Okay.
Of course, there's more.
There's one less
Yeah,
now.
Oof.
Too soon.
I guess we should talk to the barkeep.
Yeah.
Or-
Before we go though, I wanna offer a prayer to Daryl.
Mhm.
Yeah. You speak words over the body, and while not much is physically noticed, I mean, you do, as a cleric, you understand that not everything can be seen. But as that happens and you all take a step back, Kai steps up and thanks Emmy, and I'll take it from here. Thank you. I'll see to it that he's treated as well as Janusi was. And as Kai begins and you all start to depart and potentially going to see Brygon, Skoda does in fact appear in the doorway, and sees you all standing around Darrell's dead body, and she shakes her head and as if she can't believe that someone else is dead, and she just asks what happened.
Who, do I still have the book or someone else has it?
It's currently floating in the water.
I thought Lark picked it up though. Yeah, I thought he scooped it up
Kyle scoops
from
some
the
water.
water.
Kyle scoops some
No, but-
water, but the book is technically still in the pool. Although I don't. I wouldn't have picked it up as a Lark. If you want a Lark to have picked it up, that's on you guys. But
Not really. I don't think a lark would pick up a book that has poison on it.
Can I grab a towel and cover it up and put it in my bag of holding?
Alaric does even better. Alaric does in fact summon his mage hand, and is able to scoop the water or scoop the book out of the water. If you'd like to place it in a towel or wrap it in something, Alaric can drop it in there for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Sure. Alaric dismisses his mage hand, and the book plops down onto the towel, and you wrap it up nicely. Go and add that to your inventory if you'd like to keep it, or if you're planning on turning it over to Skoda, that's fine too. whomever.
Hello, Squatter.
Sorry. Sorry, what, Jonathan? What did you just say? You might repeat that. Cut out.
Alarm scoops up the book with his mage hand out of the water and places it in
Yes.
a towel that Kyle was holding. And then
Yeah.
I told Kyle to add it to his inventory if he wanted to keep it, or if his plan was to turn it over to Skoda, that's fine too. He doesn't have to add it to his
Oh.
inventory then.
No,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
gonna put it in my bag of holding.
Okay. Then, yeah. Skoda continues to approach and looks over Darl's body as Kai is now saying, speaking words over it. And again, now that she asked and that all interaction happened, she asked, "What was that?"
What was what?
Part of the
Daryl dying?
investigation.
The book, the whatever you just scooped out of the water. What happened? Why is Darl dead?
It seems like he died the same way Janusi died, but it could have been by accident.
His heart was removed as well.
No.
And she looks around and says, "No, what? What do you mean died in the same way Janusi did?
I can't disclose that information.
You can't disclose it to me."
No.
No.
She gets a pretty offended look on her face for a second, and then tries to hide it, I guess, but not very well. She doesn't. She just stands there for a second, looking down at Darl and looking at Kai and looking at the rest of you. Perhaps it is best if Kaylin takes responsibility for this. I'll send someone to fetch him immediately. And she leaves the bathhouse and disappears for a moment.
We should probably go over to what was his name? Lewin at the apothecary and see if he can recognize what this is made, like what the powder is made from.
That's good.
Let's go.
Okay.
Wait, should we wait for Kaylin to tell him what happened, or no? Never mind.
All right. You guys do in fact leave the which one? This one. Trying to find which one I needed. You guys do depart. Kai's obviously not here. Jacinta and Kirill are still outside. There are a few people gathering again, but Skoda is quickly ordering them off. She summons one of the other. Well, she speaks a word, and you guys recognize it as very similar to the sending spell that the Watcher used last night. And indeed, a message is sent in order to summon Kaylin. However, we're probably going to wrap up today. I do have the apothecary ready, I think, because I was ready for that. I want to prove it to you.
Oh,
Boom, apothecary.
beautiful. Love
But
it.
it's supposed to be in a tree, but whatever. I can only do so much. So apothecary is this looked much better before. I wonder why it looks so blurry now. Well,
It's very pixelated.
it does, doesn't it? It looked really good when I uploaded it the first time.
I feel like I'm looking at one of those like little 8-bit cozy games.
Weird. Well, I had one. Maybe I'll find another apothecary the next time. But we have an apothecary. Regardless, we are going to wrap up there for this evening. So Laura's not missing out on too much. She'll be back. She missed Darl's death, so that's pretty big.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's the mustache.
It's the mustache. So you have wrapped up the ceremony. You attended the funeral or the memorial service, more or less, of Janusi. You heard Kai speaking of potentially bringing Janusi back. However, that raised some tension within the entire place, including people such as Skoda and Alchrist and Alai and Kazran. It could have been just Kai speaking of, potentialities or maybe a plan to bring him back, but despite all of that, as of right now, you all know that that is not possible. Janusi's heart is still missing. So the rest of the ceremony went pretty well as far as the actual words were concerned. However, you did witness, or you overheard some of the avowed speaking of the 99th prophecy, the Deadwinter prophecy as it's known, and you got a retelling of that by speaking to the little one and some of the avowed. You witnessed Alai exchanging a book or taking a book from one of the watchers wearing a purple robe, and he pocketed it, and Kyle noticed that it was slightly heavier than it should have been. Other than that, you were introduced to a couple of new characters. You talked to Jacinta, you spoke to Lewin, and you also spoke to Tarell. I don't know why I cannot remember his name of all the names. Karill. Karill. I don't know. KEH''RIL. Karill. You met those individuals.
Daryl and call him Carol.
Carol, yeah, no kidding. You met them all at the ceremony, had a brief conversation, after which you shared a nice bath together, got a good night's rest, and woke up to, unfortunately, another death. Investigating the bathhouse, found Darrell's body, have come to the conclusion that it is potentially whatever killed Janusi also killed Darrell, and you're narrowing it down to potentially poison. And you offended Skoda, so good job. I think that is essentially it as far as the summary goes.
How come you offended her now?
Because we
I feel-
wouldn't tell her like what happened.
I mean, we kind of had the same thing before, though. Like, we told her we couldn't disclose information. Now she's offended.
I'll tell you why I played her as offended. I can't tell you why she's offended, but I'll tell you like why it went that route. Before, she hired you as the investigators, you obviously were asking questions, and while she was a little standoffish the first time you asked questions, like taken aback that you would accuse her, she kind of understood, and she'd had most of the day to process it, right? Janusi's death was obviously sudden to her, but she had a full day's worth of time in order to think on it and process it, and then by the time you guys had talked with her, she'd already had probably this conversation with a few other people, right? However, this morning she wakes up and nearly first thing, again, back-to-back days, she's summoned to the bathhouses to find another one of, well, in this case a great reader, but not the keeper, but another great reader dead. And when now she's doing her best to just seek out information, the people who she hired declines that information, right? They decide not to tell her. So I think for her, it was just like, I don't know, imagine if one of your friends died and the cops didn't tell you anything, right? Like they wouldn't give you any information when all you really want is the information you had.
Yeah.
So she got offended and threatened to essentially bring Caitlin back to investigate. So, and then walked off. But yeah, so I don't know. You again, that is why I would have played her as that. Also, she's the murderer, so she'd be offended that you suspected her. But I'm just kidding. But that is why I would have played it that way, or why I did react that way.
Okay.
And you're next. Just kidding.
Oh no! One of us dies.
What happened? Something? You guys wake up this morning and someone doesn't wake up? Dun dun
Oh my
dun.
Crazy.
But no, we will pick up next Wednesday. It shouldn't be. I don't foresee any issues. You guys can continue where you want. You can go talk to Blygon and get information, or see if you can get information about that book. You can go, or Brygon, not Blygon. Brygon. You can go to the apothecary if you'd like. You can wait for Kaylin to arrive. You can whatever you want. You can go look for a book about the poison. You can eat the poison yourself if you so choose. But I
Yummy.
think that's pretty much sums it up for the day. Are there any last minute comments, questions, concerns before we officially wrap it up?
Pew pew.
No.
Did not expect this.
If you did expect it to be pretty boring, wouldn't it?
Indeed.
I'm just glad you have 5 suspects. I mean, that's like half the great readers, but still, I'm happy. I'm happy that it's not just like, yeah, this is the murderer. This is the guy who did it. Otherwise, I'd be doing a crap job. So, 5 suspects. That's good news for me. It's like the end of the. It's like the end of the Law and Order episode.
Wolf.
Honestly, it's almost time for dinner.
Oof.
You're right. You got 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat too.
Alrighty. Well, I'll be in the
Man, I've been
Discord
munching.
for a few more minutes. I gotta wrap up the stream, and then if you guys need anything, you can hang out, and I'll be back shortly. If not, I love you all, and I'll see you next Wednesday. I'll probably talk to you all sooner than that, but we'll meet again next Wednesday. Except for Bernadette, because she doesn't hang out with us, because she doesn't really like us. She just wants to play D&D. So,
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
just
yeah, it's
kidding.
true. She
Aw.
doesn't like us.
I'm just kidding. But
Alright.
good
Love
night,
you guys.
everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
That wraps it up. Colonel Mustard Burner. Are we burning Bernadette? Burn her. Bernadette. Yeah. Little session. Added a little bit of a couple things. So I am glad that they have so many suspects. Like I said, my biggest concern when running this was like being too transparent, I suppose. I've never run a murder mystery before in all the sessions that I've DM'd, so it's going pretty well. We do have, you can count it as like 3 suspects, I suppose. Kazrin and Alai are in a relationship. Bookworm and Alchrist are aunt and nephew. So, and then Silvira was, in a relationship with Janusi. So it's possible that you could say this is actually like 3 suspects instead of 5. But still, I think it's good that they have a reason to suspect multiple people. Because again, like I said, if it was just one, it'd be kind of boring, right? If you knew who it was from episode 2, it wouldn't really be much of a mystery. I gave them some more information, right? They're starting to narrow down, there's aspects of the crime. There's who did it and why they did it and how they did it, right? And we started to narrow down the how they did it, which I'm proud of them for. So, they rolled well. I gave them quite a bit of information, but narrowing down that both Janusi and Darl were potentially poisoned by the same thing is a big step, right? So now we kind of know how they did it. And the next step is probably identifying like some of the red herrings, right? Like why was his heart cut out? And who would have had the knowledge to do that, or who would have had a reason to do that? Emmy got to use Speak with Dead. That's exciting. That's not something that always gets to be used, and she found a way to use it, which was good. So Darl didn't give them too much information, but maybe eliminated a couple of suspects, or at least gave them some more leads to go on, which is good. And then the next adventure or the next session, they'll hopefully wrap up some more leads. Yeah, can't give too much away in case you're following along at home, but that's pretty much it. Stealth Reaper, if you're still out there, man, thank you again for the raid, guy or girl. I appreciate it very much. I'm sorry that I couldn't talk much at the time. Most of my focus is given to the players during this, but I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you sharing your community with me and sharing your time with me. It means a lot. There were a couple of other people as well. Fleshmad, thank you for stopping by. I'm glad Anthony was able to help you, and I hope you enjoy playing your Changeling Monk. That sounds like a good time. I know the Changing class was just added with the new Starjammer set, so I haven't gotten to play any of those. The Thrycreen, the GIF, and the Changeling. All cool stuff. I'd like to play those. And then we had one more person, I thought. Did I miss them? Oh, Brax. Brax from the boys. Brax, I'm sorry if you're still here. Again, I appreciate you stopping by. It was nice to have you in the chat if you're still around. If not, I understand. I try to put these little reminders out here, that, again, as the DM, I can only do so much as far as bouncing and balancing my time back and forth. So I do my best. Sometimes we're able to take little breaks and I'll reach out and say hi, but in this case, breaks just weren't. We took that little break when Emmy and Evie were switching spells, but other than that, just kind of pushing. So hope you enjoyed it as well. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you're out there, again, thank you. If you're still here or not, I love you regardless. I appreciate you being here in whatever capacity you can be. Had a lot of mods in the chat today. It's all good stuff. I would have loved to send everybody over to Kyle, but Kyle had to push his stream back due to some last minute errands. And I don't see anybody else streaming. So, sad day. I will be back. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. So I'll be back with some more Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow morning at around 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then I don't know if I'm streaming tomorrow. I don't know what the plan is. Yep, Baldur's Gate 3 tomorrow at 11. What did we do? What's the last thing we did in Baldur's Gate 3? I don't even remember. We fought Auntie Ethel. We did that. We went down and fought the spider matriarch. That was the last thing we did. So I went down there because I was looking for that closet familiar. So I summoned Auntie Ethel, and or rather, I didn't kill Auntie Ethel. I fought Auntie Ethel and then let her go because I'm an idiot. And then we fought the spider matriarch and I killed her. And so the next thing I need to do, I think tomorrow we're going to go visit the goblin camp, or at least make our way that way. No, well, maybe if we have enough time. We're going to go find that missing package up to the north, and then maybe visit the goblin camp, which will all be new to me. I've not done any of that, so I'm excited. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Appreciate you all. I love you all very much. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 if you like. And then maybe tomorrow night. I don't really know. But we'll see. I love you guys. Have a good night. Bye, everybody.